There is so much to unpack here tonight. You're going to need a U-Haul. All right, where do we begin? Well, Zion Williamson, NBA player, plays for New Orleans. And he wanted to announce that him and his girlfriend were expecting a baby and everything was just fine until all the other folks heard about it. Next thing you know, everything turned on his ear upside down in one night. And there's so many lessons we have to go over here tonight. There's so many dimensions. It's not going to be just the way that you all think from what the title of the video is. We are going to deal with that. That was the most obvious one, but there's about 720 degrees of analysis we're going to get to here tonight because there's too many lessons to learn. All right, so Zion Williamson, typical NBA player, young men with too damn much money, too damn much power, and too damn much ability, and not nearly as much discipline as they should have. So he's, without being disparaging here, Zion Williamson decides that this single mom, he found a single mom of all the women in the world that he could have chosen. He chose a woman who's already a single mom, and he's decided to go ahead and get her pregnant because intelligence. So now he's stuck with that. And, far be it from me to be disparaging, although I couldn't help but notice from the look on her face, that look on her face when she sees that grin he's got and whatnot. I mean, that look on her face basically says bag secured. Bag secured, retirement secured. Just, that's it. I got him. I got him now. Looking at the fellow who's making $30 million. And yeah, this was the best he could think to do. All these other options out there, and this was the best he could think to do. But then we started getting word from one of his other options that we just mentioned here. Thought we'd go ahead and show it to you here. Her name is Mariah Mills, or at least that's her stage name. Mariah Mills is a stomped down real life porn chick. Not a phony one, although phoniness is all over her. I mean, she is heavyweight built. I mean, she ain't even a little over. She's heavyweight built. She's not wide load, it's extra wide. So I'm just saying this is disgusting proportions. This isn't even cartoonish now. This is just Looney Tune-ish proportions. So in any case, when I talked about the other options, this was apparently one of the other options for Zion, because no sooner than he announces with him and his girlfriend that Miss Mills goes on Twitter to say a whole bunch of things. Now, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back. You know what? No, I can't come back. I can't come back. No. You know what? It's got me in a tailspin. I'm like, which end of this crap burger, which end of this crap pizza do you start on? I guess we'll just start in the middle and circle our way outward. All right, as you all can see here, took me a while to get all these individualized, but this is her from her Twitter page. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. We're going to be doing this a lot tonight, so just hang on. So she announces, congrats, Zion Williamson, happy for you. Based on what you're about to do next, I have the suspicious feeling, ma'am, that you are actually not happy for him. I have a feeling you're not actually happy. Just call it a hunch. She's showing text messages or whatever from him, text messages, chat messages from him. Love you in them jeans. Gonna FaceTime you in a little bit so we can talk about you moving. So what she's saying is, hey, you can't go off and get some other broad pregnant. I'm supposed to have the bag. You supposed to be doing all this for me. What you think you're gonna get away with? So very obviously she was not happy because she was under the impression that she had rights. He says, I want to fly you whenever I'm at for 4 days. You sexy. All right. So very clearly she's decided, let's just go ahead and do a information dump. We're just going to go through our phone and just do an information dump. Jason, how bad does it get? It gets this bad. It gets this bad. she wanted to make sure that she let the world know that, by the way, he had made her assurances. Folks, she thought she had found her retirement package. And I mean that literally. She thought she meant she found her retirement package. She says, I hate you. Is that on God? O-N-G? I hate you on God. Zion Williamson, looks like you been had a girlfriend and sleeping with other women behind my back. Now, you all understand, this chick, Mariah Mills, is a literal porn star. We don't have porn stars anymore, but she does porn. A lot of it, not a little bit. She does a lot. Triple X, quadruple X rated. And she's got the nerve to sit up here and insult somebody about their sex habits. But okay. Says here, I don't have a girlfriend, but if I move to New Orleans, would you be cool? Would be like my official? I wonder if that side chick she got blurred out there. Be my official? Just asking so I know to go about the situation with respect. See, he's trying to do it the right way. When you move, how much do you expect me to pay you a month? But I'm super excited. When you move, how much do you expect me to pay you a month? There's a reason that he's saying this. There's a reason that he's saying this. We'll come to it in a moment, but by the way, he's talking about moving her to New Orleans and how much do I have to pay you a month? I got a feeling I know exactly what he's doing here, and I'm like, dude, this could backfire on you because in the words of Michael Jackson, Mama always said, don't go around breaking young girls' hearts and certainly don't go breaking crazy chicks' hearts. Because when you tell them, gas their heads up with ideas that you're going to move them around and make serious with them, they actually believe they're about to get out the game on your back. And if they find out that they are not going to be leaving, things could go bad. But this is the message where he said he wanted to move her around and how much would I need to pay you a month? All right, then we go to the next one here. Hopefully I have removed any offensive language and stuff because we are on YouTube. As you can see here, it says, Zion, how many more women, Zion, don't you think I've been humiliated enough? Ma'am, you do porn. Lady, you do porn. Your rear end looks like the beach ball section at Everything But Water. What are you talking about? You do triple X rated porn. Either this is all satire on her part, either this is all satire, or she's just had a break with reality. You've been humiliated enough? Mariah does Detroit wasn't humiliating enough? Are you serious? So, okay. The message is here. I guess this is her in the blue and him in the gray. Booty fun pack. Hope you have a good day, my king. Oh boy. Only rear end, but I know your strong hands can grip this fat, big, slippery. Oh boy. I know your strong hands can grip this fat, big, slippery. No, he's gonna need more than one hand. I can tell you right now. Even the NBA, they can only grip a basketball. For a beach ball, gonna take a couple of hands for that one, ma'am. So you're overestimating his abilities. He tells her, thank you for this. No, babe, I was thinking about you. So you can see what's going on here. She's dumping all the salacious details. And this is supposed to humiliate him, I guess. All right. Then she says this. Now, this was kind of strange. She said, you forced me to get knotless braids and wear waist beads every time I came to New Orleans because you said you wanted me to embrace my African roots, Zion, and you said it made me more beautiful to you. I did everything you asked me to do, and you do this to me. So there are some folks who are saying that where he's from and stuff on DJ Academics. There were some folks, they say from Marion County. You can look it up, but they're talking about, oh, they just like white women. Well, he's like, he ain't really like that. So on the one hand, you want to say he prefers black women. Don't speak too soon, by the way. But on the one hand, says he prefers black women, but on the other hand, you prefer him to do what? So, okay. All right. You can see the messages here. He says, can't wait to see you getting your hair done. She says, yeah, 8 p.m. tonight. He says, send flight. She says, hey, baby. So I guess we're flying her out again. All right. We're flying her out again because nothing says trouble like flying them, giving them wings. All right. Got to be careful through these parts here. But as you can see, she's real super heavy on sending him videos and pictures and stuff. So don't let people get riled up too quickly. Don't let them get riled up too much. By the way, you see the one over here on the right? The one over here on the right. Is this supposed to be heartbroken? Is this supposed to be heartbroken? I want the young men out there everywhere to listen to what the hell I'm about to say to you right now. Listen to me very, very carefully for the remainder of your days. Hoes don't have a heart. Hoes are heartless. Hoes are ruthless. You fellas need to learn the difference between hoe material and housewife material. Hoes are ruthless. Hoes don't have a heart. Hoes know how to appeal for sympathy to try to manipulate people on their side. Hoes don't have a heart. Hoes don't care. They get pregnant because it's convenient. They throw their legs open because it's convenient. They throw their butt cheeks out there because it's convenient. You're not special. You can't be special. They're psychopathic. Hoes are psychopathic. They do not have empathy. They do not have sympathy. They simply operate in what's in their best interest. They will look you in the eye and lie to you every day for the rest of your life. Don't be a sucker. Hoes don't have a heart. If y'all agree with me that I'm telling you the truth right now, give me the 100 emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. It's almost 2,000 people in here live right now, but can we just go ahead and keep it raw and keep it real? If you agree with what I'm saying right now, give me the 100 emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. Otherwise, I figure we got a bunch of hoe huggers, and I'll go ahead and wrap this damn thing up. I quit early last week. We can wrap it up early this week. That's perfectly fine. If the hoe huggers outnumber the sensible people, hey, we can go ahead and shut it down, let the hoes have it. But as you can see here, yeah, she was, every time you turn around, she's throwing it out there and she's saying she's heartbroken. Ma'am, who you fooling? Hoes don't have a heart. Hoes don't have a heart. They just have what they want. Soon as she turns on you, watch it go completely heartless. All right, speaking of heartless, take a look at what she says here. So embarrassing, had to watch you lose when you came to my city, Zion. You're not a champ. You're the king anymore. Okay, you're not a champ. I guess she means or the king anymore. You a fat loser. You lost me for good. Enjoy fatherhood. Now she's attacking his kid? What happened to having a heart? What happened to hoes having a heart, everyone? Now she's attacking the kid? Enjoy fatherhood. And you're so sweaty, I hated laying next to you in bed. Really? Really? Now she's like, man, damn you and the kid. I'm going all out. So much for hoes having a heart. Now here's another thing right here. Boy, she really didn't like this. What was I, your African sex freak fantasy? Because you got a damn hairstyle? She was real upset that he made her get a hairstyle that was more, natural or more Afro in nature. She really did hate that. And here's the reason why. Right here. I've tried to make sure about this and I hope I got everything. If I didn't, oh boy. You see this right here. You betrayed. You can see more messages with her sending herself in a state of undress. Had to blur that out for the algorithm. She said, you betrayed me, Zion. You was my daddy. You was my daddy.
Auntie, chill.
I don't know there. She said you was my daddy.
What?
All right, no wonder she nutting up. No wonder she going crazy. No wonder she is going insane. She's saying it right here. You was my daddy. Okay. Daddy issues. All right. You was my daddy. I don't care what you do to me at this point. Do to you, he ain't did nothing to you. You the one going on Twitter on a damn war march. He ain't did nothing to you. She's the one up in the middle of the night revealing their text messages. She's talking about, I don't care what you do to me. He ain't did nothing to you. He's not even acknowledging your existence. I don't care what you do to me. Wow. So you're assaulting him and beating him down in the middle of the street and saying, I don't care how badly you beat me. Sorry. Now, she said, sorry, I'm not into threesomes and weird S, you sex addict. Keep up with that sentence. Congrats on your new journey in fatherhood. Then for Valentine's Day, she says, the worst day. So basically, baby, your overinflated rear end is your claim to fame. And now you're acting like you're sensitive over it. But I want to come back to this right quick. Let's go ahead and have a moment here. Mariah, we need to have a reality check for a moment. Because she says right here that I don't care what you do to me at this point. I'm not into threesomes and weird S, you sex addict. Now, this is from her Twitter page. I know because that's where I got it from. Folks, if you Google Mariah Mills and threesome, you will get some video results. Unless there is another Mariah Mills who looks exactly like this chick here and has the same butterfly butt tattoos. If you Google Mariah Mills and threesome, you will find a bunch of white men and a bunch of white women. Let me say that one more time. I can't even show you all here on YouTube. That's just how bad it is. But if you go Google Mariah Mills and threesome, you'll get nothing but a bunch of threesomes with white men and white women. That's what you're going to see. So when she says she doesn't like threesomes, man, we got video evidence that is for sale, for rent, for download. What I'm saying is you're dealing with a damn psycho. Either that or this is the worst example of shameless clout chasing that I have witnessed in my adult years at this point. Because now she just seems mentally unhinged. Either she seems mentally unhinged or she is mentally unhinged. But there's plenty of videos that you can look up with her, all with white women and white men having threesomes all over the damn place. While she's talking about, I don't do threesomes. Do you mean you don't do threesomes? You're not into threesomes with black men? Is that what you mean? I think she must mean she's not into threesomes with black men, because I didn't see any black men in the ones that I came across. Although I will admit that I was short on time. But yeah, she's sitting up here talking about, I'm not into threesomes. I'm not into threesomes and weird S, you sex addict. And I'm like, oh, you have entered a dimension that defies sight, sound, and sanity. Yeah. So she's just come totally unhinged. And we can Google this stuff and see that that you're lying. Mariah, we can Google this. What in the hell? What in the hell? The last couple of things she put up here, oh, she going all out, y'all. She's going all out now. She's going all out. Remember when you told me I had to wear all black for 1 week in New Orleans? I guess I was just your human dress-up sex doll. What the hell? You had a baby on me. I told you I hated those knotless braids. She's back to the knotless braids. Y'all, she was really upset. She was really upset. If a white man had asked her to do that, I wonder if she'd be upset. But anything identifying with black folk, boy, she's real upset about that. Some of you fellas better keep this in mind when you're dealing with chicks who have a complex about blackness. Or you're dealing with a chick who has a complex about blackness, and they don't have to be mixed to have a complex. She's got a color complex. Then white men, she doesn't mind wearing blonde wigs. A black man says, get that mess off your head, and all of a sudden she's having a mental schism. So she's back to that again, even though that's not what these texts are about. And the other thing is, you remember when you told me, you don't tell a damn grown woman anything. Just like we talking about, you made me get those braids. You don't make a grown woman get any damn thing. How the hell you make a grown woman get braids? How do you do that? How do you make a you forced me to get knotless braids. So she's trying to invoke some rape talk. Do you all get that? She's trying to invoke that this is somehow some forcible situation, but she can't say anything was forced on her. So she's using the language of sexual assault for a damn hairstyle, for clothing. She's like, yeah, you've never sexually assaulted me, but I'm going to use assault language. Even though you didn't assault me, you forced me. What did he force you to do? To get these braids. How does a fella force you to get braids? It takes hours and hours to do that. Well, he forced me against my will. Now she's back again. Fellas, come on now. I know that crazy is awesome in bed, but dudes, you got to practice some self-preservation. So asking her to wear something is making her a dress-up doll. Every man has told this woman, hey, I prefer to see you wearing that. How does that make you a dress-up doll? She's flipping crazy, my dude. Actually, she was already there. This is why you cannot give them access to fellas in the NBA now. Y'all need to have NDAs and the whole damn 9 yards. You can't take no chances like this. Y'all side chicks are kamikaze. Now, here's what she's posting now. Conception and deception, Zion. I couldn't make it this one time. You couldn't have waited. I couldn't make it this one time. You couldn't have waited. Really? So what she's now trying to say is that she thinks she's pregnant. That's what she's trying to say now. And I'm like, not really sure about that, ma'am. Not really sure about that. You way late along to be saying that, ain't you? Way late along. You talking about this many months later? You're a little late on it. But she's throwing it out there because things were supposed to go a different way. It was supposed to go a different way. You see, there are folks out here who told themselves that they were going to be getting out the game, was what they told themselves. They told themselves that they were going to be getting a new lease on life, I suppose it is. They were telling themselves that somebody else was going to make sure that they were taken care of and essentially that they'd be able to retire, that they were going to be able to stop hoeing it up out here, and that there was some dude who was going to take them off the damn market after you've been not just run through, but run over. And Zion was supposed to come along and give you the meal ticket. Now, this page right here is what I want you all to see. If you want to know where this level of insanity comes from, if you want to know where this level of mental derangement and unhingement comes from, take a look at this post up here on your page that she put up here. Zion said to her, really want us to get to a point where you only with me and it's not always transactional. I'm always gonna look out with that, but I want it to be more. Fellas. When it's very, very clear that a female is in this for your resources and nothing else, you supposed to back away from the damn table. He's sitting up here acting like this is something to brag about. Then listen to how she responded. Same here, baby. We've been linking since 2021. I feel like we're more than that now. I just wanted to retire from OnlyFans this year. But what are thinking when you say more? I guess you meant what are you thinking when you say more? And he said, seeing you more. You staying with me when you come. So do you get that? I know most of these other folks didn't go into the details and read all the messages so you could see exactly what was going on. But she's sitting here saying, you know, you've been laying on top of me since 2021. I just couldn't help but notice. You've been laying on top of me, or however we could situate ourselves with this obstacle on my backside. I couldn't help but notice we've been doing this since 2021. And I was just curious, you know, just if we could do something different than that, or did you have something else in mind, or was we gonna get there? We've been linking since 2021, and I feel like we're more than that now. More than what now? I feel like we're more than that. More than what? He been sitting up here paying her. More than what? And what did she say? I just wanted to retire from OnlyFans this year. So I'm assuming this is from April of this year, so a couple of months ago. She's telling him, oh, I wanted to retire. Fellas, let me make a couple of points clear right now. Because not a lot of people are saying this, but I'm going to have the guts to say this to you. Fellas, you have no earthly idea the colossal number of females out here who've been yelling strong and independent now for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. They've been lying their asses off, and they are willing to go to any lengths to get a meal ticket. They're willing to go to any lengths. This is the culture now. They will do anything. They will say anything. I'm talking about professional chicks, lawyers, doctors, nurses, teachers, executives. Man, they will do anything to get some fella to sit up here and let them coast and cruise. They are looking to trap and lock down anything. This is the culture now. This is it. If you are a man today making more than $100,000 a year, it depends on how long she's been out there. And if you're a fella making more than $250,000 a year, you're meat. Let me just tell you right now, you are meat. They are on the hunt. And they will say anything because they trying to get up out the game, because what they've chosen are vocations that really require too much of you. Or here's the real thing. Here's the real thing. The real thing is that most of these females today want to live a luxurious life. Fellas, if you got the ability to pay for a $200,000 car, even if it stretches you to the max, even if it takes you to the brink of bankruptcy or over bankruptcy, if you are the best she can do, she wants that. She wants that. When the chick sees that you have the ability to fly her out anywhere, all she's thinking is, look here, I want this for the rest of my damn days. And if I get the power of the state behind me, I can force the issue. So what they're looking for is a weak ass, spineless beta simp bastard that they can take advantage of, and she gassing your head up the whole damn time. What I'm telling you is take a look at how this woman was speaking to him the whole time. Everything was fine. Everything was great. Everything was lovely. Everything was love. Soon as she wasn't happy with him, oh man. She's like, damn, blowing up your spot. I'm going to try to blow up your life. So to the fellas out there, y'all need to pull your heads out of your rumps and recognize that this is the culture today. You got to safeguard yourself. Every female is talking to you like she's, quote, in love. And if you don't recognize that most of your competition makes less than $50,000 a year. As I've been telling you for years and years now, most of your competition as males in the sexual marketplace are struggling. If you're a man making over $250,000 a year, and you don't have any kids, you're the bag. Let me say this tonight in no uncertain terms. In America today, for the working class females, I'm talking about just the average chick, if you're a man who's got making $250,000 a year or more and you don't have any kids, you are the bag. And if you are a man making $500,000 a year or more, you ain't the bag, you the bank. You ain't the bag, you're the bank. And with a fella making $30 million, dude, it's treacherous, it's ruthless, it's church girls sitting up here trying to figure out if they can get 2 or 3 bastard kids with you. Those are the rules now. A man needs to accept that this is the reality. You can't afford to sit up here and leave yourself vulnerable to every hoe and slut that comes along. Yeah, we know he's talked to his mama, but not even his stepdaddy. So much for stepdaddy season. So much for that. If I'm stepdaddy, I'm like, it's a good thing he didn't. But then again, I think he was sticking up for him earlier today. I'm not sure. I want to say the stepfather was sticking up for him earlier today. So you got a whole bunch of beta simps around there who just don't learn. Fellas, if you are a beta today, you are meat. You're meat. That's the bottom line, is you're meat. To make matters worse, as if matters actually could get worse, now there's a new chick. There's another chick who's done jumped up, squealing, snitching, posting pictures and still shots and tattoos and things. And this ain't nothing to do with clout. I get my own money in real life and never been a prosty or sold my body. Are you talking about Miss Mills, ma'am? Now, this is a third chick named Yamil, whoever the hell she is. This is a third chick. Now, listen to this next thing. I've never been a prosty or sold my body. Folks, punctuation, damn it, punctuation. Sold my body. You outside. I don't know what was up with all the E's. I don't understand that. You outside buying hoes Cullinans who didn't have $100,000 to their name when you met them. Ma'am, you sound jealous. Do y'all see? If y'all let them talk long enough, they gonna tell you it comes down to the money. Fellas, I don't know how to explain this to you any more plainly. When you let these women talk long enough, they eventually admit that it comes down to the money. It comes down to what they were financially looking to get. You was the bag. In Zion's case, you was the bank. This is all coming back to, by the way, you spending money out there and I didn't get nearly as much as everyone else got. That's what Mariah is upset about, that she didn't get, in her mind, she didn't get as much as everyone else because she knows that the chick with the baby is going to get the lion's share. Whoever gets the baby and the ring, well, yeah, you're going to have to fight. She's going to have to fight y'all hoes off, but the hoes are used to fighting and doing dumb stuff. So they're like, hey, she going to get the lion's share. She gonna get the big piece of chicken. You gonna make me struggle for it. She gonna get the big piece of chicken. So it comes back here. Now you got another one. She thought she was gonna get the big piece of chicken. She's like, I'll be damned. You were supposed to get me pregnant first. I was supposed to have to keep a nigga baby. I was supposed to have the handcuffed baby. So she says, you outside buying hoes Cullinans who didn't have $100,000 to their name when you met me. Why I didn't get my Bentayga and my Richard Milley last summer. Fellas, you can't afford to have alpha money and beta brains. Dudes, you cannot afford to have alpha money and beta brains. You have two generations of females now who are straight scavengers. They looking at your bank account, they looking at your pockets and going around shopping for themselves. You can't afford to have alpha male money and beta male brains in the 21st century. Because there are too many chicks who are calculating and they can see you weak from the beginning. She can see you're vulnerable. There are lessons about that you need to learn. Your income does not make you an alpha. Having sexual access to multiple women or a variety of women does not make you an alpha. Do you understand that, folks? All these things that Rollo Tomasi and the rest of these people told you make you an alpha. I'm sitting here, I've been telling you for years, being an alpha is balance. Your income doesn't make you an alpha. Being financially competent is a requirement of being an alpha, but just because you get your money up doesn't mean now, okay, I'm an alpha now, because chicks like money. Well, everybody likes money. Having money, folks liking your money isn't special. Well, there are females out there. I get a lot of sex. I get a lot of females. That doesn't make you an alpha either. Well, what if I got money and females? That don't make you an alpha either. Well, Jason, why doesn't it? Because of how I defined alpha for all of you. So just see whether or not Rollo and the Red Pill have a gap in their training or whether or not I got it straight for you all tonight. It's time to update your files.
Join me and I will complete your training.
Stick with me and I will finish you all's so-called red pill training. Damn the red pill, it's time to break out the black book. Alpha is about power. Let me say this one more time. You cannot be an alpha if you are powerless. And this is the very damn definition of powerless. This is the very damn definition of powerless. This is the very damn definition of powerless. This is not an exercise in power. This is not a profile in power. The women got the power here, not the guy with the money. The fellow with the money is the most powerless dude in the room because he's got power, but he refuses to exercise it. He's making choices, but he isn't making power moves because the power move would have been to have all these chicks on standby in every city he was in. That was the power move. Instead, he allowed laying up with them to appeal to his mommy issues, and now he's done traded in the damn bank. And this is the way they work. They look for a weak individual who doesn't see that he's being lured in, and as soon as they got you where they want you, all of a sudden things switch up. And guess what? This chick here, he got the baby we're talking about marrying, she's gonna switch up too. Ask baby daddy number one. Her only thing is I gotta get him across this finish line to this marriage. Once I get him across the finish line, I got the ring, I got the baby. Now I can light his ass up because I can force access to his resources. Now, I never liked him. I never wanted him. He was the means to an end. Fellas, you got to understand, you can't afford to be stupid in the 21st century. You can't afford to be dumb in the 21st century. Oh, y'all, he can run all the DNA tests he wants. Do you think that chick is standing there because she's not certain? She's not standing there with her mama and her grandmama and everybody else there because she's not sure. She's standing there because she's sure. So yeah, he needs to go ahead and get a paternity test, but she's not standing there because she doesn't know what the test is going to say. Females never get pregnant by accident. Never. I've told you all this for over a decade. A woman never, ever gets pregnant by accident. If she got pregnant, you were the one she wanted to lock down because she felt at that time you were the best she could do. She may have had other men laying on her, but she didn't feel like they were her best options. She felt like you were the best she could do. If a woman's getting pregnant by you, that is her perspective. You're the best I can do. And when you got this many females sitting up here jockeying to get pregnant like this, they're letting you know, oh, we found a sucker. We found a sucker. And they just gassed his head up and told him how great he is. You understand that's the kind of thing that they're doing? Let me gas your damn head up and tell you how great you are. You was my daddy. That's right, daddy. I mean, she's gassing his head up. He's literally sitting here telling her, you know, our relationship been transactional all this time. He's literally saying transactional, and she's saying, oh, well, you know, I feel like it could be more than that. Where the hell did I put that damn thing? I feel like it could be. We've been transactional here for a minute. Literally, he's admitting that he's had to drop money in order to get her sexual and emotional attention, that without finances, she wasn't really trying to dig him. As soon as you pull back on the finances, she's like, yeah, I'm not available. So he's admitting that he knows what she was doing, and yet he still walked into it anyway. Fellas, in the 21st century, it's a whole bunch of y'all niggas gonna get broke. There's a whole bunch of fellas gonna get broke. You're gonna get babies. God forbid, you're gonna get married. You're gonna sit up here, and this is going to be the greatest transfer of wealth in gender history. If you beta bucks continue this, this will be the single greatest transfer of wealth in the history of genders. Because there are so many beta cuck suckers out here today who think that if they get there, they're so desperate for female attention, and the only thing they have to offer is money. And they don't have any genuine interaction with females on a personality basis where they can get someone to be interested in them for the personality. He can't even see when a chick is sitting up here done sized you up and said, yeah, I'm just here to get whatever I can get. He can't even see it. Most of these fellas out here can't even see it today. And contrary to what they tell you, this ultimately they're going to end up getting into bed with some female, and it's going to blow his mind. And as soon as it does, he's going to be sprung like mattress, like a box spring, and that's going to be it. There's a whole bunch of them out here today. Whole bunch of them out here today. So this chick, as you can see, very first thing she drops is about, damn, you were supposed to give the bag to me. She goes on here to say, Zion, because I don't let you record me, I never gave you a threesome or never had an OnlyFans or was on Pornhub, so I guess I was all play. I probably never had a chance, you nasty ass sex addict. That sounds familiar now, don't it? That sounds familiar. By the way, baby, you kind of dry snitching on yourself, because Zion don't really deal with nothing but hoes, so you sitting up here talking about you ain't got a Pornhub or OnlyFans. Maybe we need to go Google for your Pornhub or OnlyFans, because I'm pretty sure Zion don't mess with nothing but hoes, which means he's got you stretched out. There's some folks got you stretched out on video somewhere, I'm willing to wager. I'm willing to wager there's some folks got you stretched out on video somewhere. Somewhere. Otherwise, how could you have gotten in the room? How could you have gotten in the room? She comes back with another one because, anyway, she said, someone tell my good sis Mariah. Tell my good sis Mariah. You mean this good sis? You mean this one? You mean this one? This is good Miss Mariah. This is good, honorable, decent, upstanding citizen Mariah. This one here, ma'am. We talking about this Mariah? Rear end so big, you could do her tattoos with spray paint. You could do her tattoos with spray paint. Page and cornbread. Someone tell my good sis Mariah, if he moved to New Orleans, I'll move in with you. I'm just an aspiring microblading artist. Did you hear that? This third chick who's out here trying to kick dirt on people's names. The third one talking about I'm an aspiring microblading artist. Aspiring microblading artist? What is she talking about? She was talking like she'd get the bag. I'm an aspiring microblading artist. I don't even want him to touch me no more. I can't live with other bum. I can't live with the other bum though. Baby girl is beneath me. Ma'am, you're not even a microblading art. You're aspiring to do eyebrows. You are an aspiring eyebrow cosmetologist. Aspiring. Folks, okay. Listen to me. I'm trying to keep my composure. Here's the damn problem, okay? Here's the damn problem. Fellas, too many of you dudes out here are devaluing being a man of means. Damn high value. Y'all are destroying what it means to be peak value. If a microblading artist, if a chick who aspires to do eyebrows is able to get next to a $30 million man, what does that say for the value of amassing a $30 million contract when this is what can get next to you? What's the value of it? What good is it for you to be able to make $30 million a year if a single mom can get pregnant by you? What good was all of that ability? What good was all that work if that's all it adds up to? $30 million on one end of the scale and a now 2-time single mom on the other side of the scale. What the hell are you fellas out here doing? I'm not saying that you can't lay up with them, dude. Do what you do, but you're supposed to have more of a system in place than this. You're supposed to have more discipline than this. Fellas, what good is it for you to be making $250,000, $500,000, $750,000, $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, $10 million? What good is that if the damn bottom of the barrel gutter bugs are able to sit up here and have you on paper, man? What good is that? Fellas, all these fellas talking about they got their money straight and this, that, and the other, and this is the best you could do to make a permanent commitment to. You did all that work and you see amassing that kind of resources. You know what, man? I sure do wish I could make me $1 million a year so I can get me a 2-time single mom. Thank you, Zion. Thank you. Because that devalues the rest of us. That devalues the rest of us. What do you think is the message that this sends to the average scuttlebutt, scallywag, cutthroat, hood rat? What message do you think that sends to the average female today? What message do you think that sends? Do you think this sends the message that you need to have your act together? You can't be all slutty and scummy? Because fellas, you might not want to hear this, but it's the damn truth. If females are left to their own devices, they gonna use their draws for an amusement park ride. They don't give a damn if their body count is in the hundreds. If left to their own devices, that is what the average female will do. She will use her vagina for an amusement park ride. And then when she finally gets emotionally sick of getting run over and run through, then she gonna come run up and jump in your damn arms and talk about, okay, take me over the sunset. Now that's reality. That's the truth. That's what's really going on. That is exactly what it is. And to the ladies out there who may not like it,
And deal with it, nigga.
but that's the truth. The average female is just going to go through life getting slopped over if you allow it. And then she gonna run to you. So fellas, if you don't make it very, very plain that, hey, we got standards over here. And if you are gonna deal with some low-level chick, you supposed to keep that on the hush-hush. She's not even supposed to have text messages. That's supposed to be on the hush-hush. It's supposed to be very clear what that is, and y'all sitting up here giving them quasi-marriages and can't understand how the hell you got caught up. Can't understand it. I'm trying to educate you about this. Fellas, there's a bunch of y'all out here and you kind of got your heads on straight and you're trying to get your heads on straight, but this is a badass look. What do you think is the message that's being sent about the men with resources? What do you think is going on? What do you think is the impression that people are getting from us? What do you think is the message that this sends to them about us trying to get things together? What do you think? I'm doing a nice program here for a number of different reasons. I want to call out the ladies here first because, ladies, let's just be honest. This is scandalous. Can y'all just be honest? This is what it is. Can you be honest? This is what it is. It's all about the money. Oh, these chicks are snitching on themselves. They're not even smart enough to conceal it. She's sitting up here telling you, hey, I do eyebrows. Hell yeah, she wants a Bentayga. What you talking about? Fellas, I've been saying this to you now for summers and winters. If these chicks are going to be in a 6-figure car, you going to have to be the one who gets it. She is never, ever in this life going to be able to purchase the kind of vehicle she wants, the kind of handbag she wants, the kind of clothes she really wants. It ain't going to happen. And she's probably the first chick to tell these folks that she don't deal with fellas who sleep with a bunch of people and stuff like that. Next thing you know, she's running up behind Zion. Fellas, these are the rules I've been trying to tell you forever. You don't understand how much leverage you got and how much power you got. These women are never, ever out. Okay, for those of you who missed last week's broadcast, Boss Babe Myths, you better go and review that program. I went over the numbers last week. You can't get there from here. I went over the numbers in withering detail last week. They're not going to be able to get a Bentayga, a G-Wagon, a Range Rover. It ain't happening. Any female tell you it is, she's lying. She's not gonna pony up the $50,000, $60,000 that you need in order to purchase a G-Wagon. And by the way, that's being nice because you really need, it depends on what you want your payment to be. We covered that last week as well. Fellas, they ain't gonna do it because they know they can't. Take a look at what she took a shot at first. That, you know what she really upset about? Because Cullinan trumps Bentayga. And she's like, I'll be damned. You out here buying hoes, Cullinans. Yes, what you are seeing is a knife fight between a bunch of chicks who thought that they were going to be first in line. So they're all out here having a knife fight now because they thought they was going to be first in line. So you got them fighting over who going to get the Benz. Damn the Benz. Who going to get the Bentayga? Damn the Bentayga. Who going to get the Rolls Royce? Next up, Space Shuttle. So that's what they're fighting over. And she's sitting there naming what her problem is. She's sitting there naming what it is. You out here buying hoes, Cullinans, who didn't have $100,000 to their name. Ma'am, are you telling us that you're a $100,000 microblading artist? Is that what you're telling us? You're a $100,000 eyebrow specialist. Is that what you're telling us? Folks, can somebody tell me where they make $100,000 doing eyebrows? Where do they make $100,000, quote, microblade? Somebody tell me where they do that. Where does a microbladist make $100,000? Tell me so I can figure it out tonight. Where do they make that? Where do they get that? I want to know for a friend. Because she's sitting up here acting like that's balling, like that is stunting. I'm just trying to figure out. It out. Here's the other thing. For those of you who didn't know, that Richard Mille that she's referring to, those are watches. But they're beyond Rolex. Technically speaking, they're beyond Rolex. Them damn things like what, $250,000? Those things like damn me $250,000 or more. Or more. Just did a check on those. Hell, them things can get up into the millions. Them damn things can get up in the millions. Don't y'all see? Understand something, fellas. One purchase of one watch could have this little heifer set for years. One watch. Do y'all see? These chicks are going after these fellas for $500,000 cars and $500,000 watches. Do you really think that these are relationships built on love and genuine attraction and genuine quality and valuation of the man? Do you think that these are relationships built on that? Somebody tell me, what part of a relationship requires somebody to be angry with you that you didn't buy them a Richard Mille watch or a Bentayga? Show me the genuine caring relationship where somebody is angry with you, is upset and putting you on blast on the internet because you didn't buy them a Bentayga or a Richard Mille watch. What type of relationship is this? Because it sounds like hoeing all the way around to me. It sounds like hoeing all the way around to me. These folks are buying stuff here that, man, don't y'all understand how the game goes? Fellas, okay, do I got to explain to you how the game goes? Don't y'all understand how it works? Apparently they don't. Shout out here in the chat room for the super chat to W. I forget how to say all that numbers you got behind your name, but thank you for your super chat. We appreciate that. Fellas, here's the way the game works right now. And for all time, by the way, you sit up here and buy her a watch. That watch is going to run $200,000, $300,000. Don't you know that if she breaks up with you in 6 months, that watch is going straight to the pawn shop? Straight to eBay, straight to Sotheby's. It's going straight wherever she can sell it. If you paid $300,000, she gonna see if she can get $200 for it, unless it's some type of special edition, because dudes love to do that. She can go sell it for what she bought it for, maybe what you bought it for, maybe more. The relationship is over, dead and gone, and she's still cashing out on you. She's still cashing out on you. To the fellas out there, there's a bunch of you dudes, y'all got ringed in buying chicks cars. And I sat up here and told you, wait a minute, 75% of all luxury cars are leased. And I should know, 75% of them are leased. And yet the women who are driving these leased luxury cars Have no problem with that. Y'all sitting up here letting some chick who thinks that she sees you for a sucker tell you that you gotta buy her that car and put it in her name. Well, you know damn well she can't afford the payments and she wants you to pay for it cash. What the hell? What am I, Santa Claus? She wants you to pay for it cash, put it in her name, give her the keys. She can't even afford the damn maintenance on it. So you know what the hell gonna happen? Soon as you buy her that watch, soon as you buy her that $200,000 car, she is gonna break up with you and go take that damn thing and sell it and go buy herself a Nissan Murano. That's what's gonna happen. You go off and go buy this chick a G-Wagon who cannot afford one on her own. She's going to get that thing. You're going to be stupid enough to put it in her name. And then she's going to cut ties with you. And then next thing you know, she's selling your damn thing on Auto Trader for 75% of what you paid for it. That's the game today. Hell, you can't even really go buy an expensive handbag like that no more. You can't even buy an expensive handbag like that anymore. All these resale sites. Oh yeah, ladies, I gotta read your mail. You can't even get we gotta watch the expensive handbags now. You go off and go get a Chanel trendy. I'm not even talking about the Birkin. I ain't even talking about Birkin. I'm talking about Chanel, Fendi. You go off and go get one of those, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000. Man, she done rocked that thing for the better part of a year, then goes to take it to a resale site. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them in New York, in LA. She taking it to them and they're buying it for 75% of the value. Or no less than 50% depending on its condition. They sitting up here taking it in and cashing it in for 50%, 75% of what you paid for it. Fellas, if you sit up here and trick off every damn thing, if she breaks up with you, nigga, it's going to become a fire sale. It's going to become a yard sale. Don't ask where the stuff went. It's gone. She sold that, partner. She gone. Well, she said she loved that thing right there. Man, look here. She was like, I got to move on to the next nigga if I can catch one. And if I can't, let me cash this out while I still can. Fellas, it becomes a damn fire sale. I gave you the rules. I told you how it's supposed to be. I explained to you what to do. If this chick is not sacrificing nothing coming in the front door, what the hell are you doing? You see, betas sit up here and start throwing money around. Alphas understand that he's valuable. A chick's you ain't supposed to be talking about flying her to New Orleans. If she values you, she's supposed to be coming to New Orleans on her own. You ain't supposed to be buying no plane tickets. Tell her, hey, baby, you been hustling them draws up under all them white men and white women all damn month. You ain't got $200 for a plane ticket? You've been hustling them oversized hot air balloon draws and you don't have $200 for a plane ticket? Sound like you ain't gonna be able to see me this month. Sound like you ain't gonna be able to see me. All I'm saying is, dude, he ain't dealing with one woman exclusively. He's supposed to have at least a roster of them. He's sitting up here, doesn't even know how to sit up here and say, hey, let me have a whole roster of them so that way I ain't just gotta worry about them problems. Let it be what it's gonna be. He didn't require any of them to sacrifice anything. He didn't require any of these women to put anything into it. He didn't require any of these women to put any skin in the game. That's the problem. Fellas, if you want to know how you can sniff out gold diggers real damn easy, it's real damn easy to do. Gold diggers ain't gonna put no skin in the game. She is not going to do that. When you start talking about her spending, she gonna start looking at you like you crazy. She's gonna tell you she doesn't have it. She's gonna tell you, ooh, it ain't supposed to be like that. She's gonna start telling you, well, you the one with the bag. Y'all have sat here and seen me talk to everything from porn stars to OnlyFans to Instagram models, and y'all see me tell them, say, hey, there's a dude that they sit up here that they spend money on. He don't have to spend a dime on her. She's giving him all the sex and all the money he wants. Y'all have seen him talk to me. Shout out Bethany Benz. She's sitting up here telling you that she ain't really got it and she can't talk to you if the money ain't right. I guarantee you that there's a dude, she been doing everything that she say she ain't doing for you, she doing for him. How the hell can you be worth $30 million and you got to foot the bill for these chicks to come out? What you talking about, man? What are you talking about? And they're sitting up here showing you, man, look, if it ain't got the bag involved, we're not trying to hear it. They are walking in the damn door saying, let's clear him out. And tonight's program is about Zion Williamson, but in reality, it is about most of you fellas out here today with thinking that your money is straight. Thinking that your money is straight, and it's not. The money is good, but you got a beta brain. You got alpha money, but you got a beta brain. And a female can't respect a man with a beta brain because this was all transactional. Her job was to deceive you and fool your dumb ass into catching feelings. She ain't never caught no feelings. Fellas, these women ain't never caught no feelings. There is no love involved here anywhere. Just as soon as you made it clear that you made a choice, okay, I'm choosing that hoe over there, pun intended. As soon as you make it clear, yeah, I'm choosing that hoe over there, all of a sudden they all pull the knives out on you. I thought y'all was in love. I thought this was more than transactional. I thought this was going to be more than transactional. I thought this was going to be more than that. As soon as you did something she didn't like, damn you nigga, you and your damn kid. And then the others jumped out the woodwork because they're like, I'll be damned. The train is leaving without me. When you got folks talking about Cullinans and Bentaygas, man, don't you understand? Ain't no love over here. Ain't no love over here. And too many fellows are trying to negotiate a relationship. This is not power moves. My channel is the definitive home of power dynamics. This is not a power move. Let me explain to you what the hell a power move is, fellas. And Zion, you're in my state. You should have been listening before. You belong to the game now. It doesn't matter what you do. But to the rest of you fellas that you do have a damn chance, let me explain to you how to have alpha money and alpha brains. First and foremost, you understand that she is supposed to be an extension of the team. You walk in the door and you supposed to be pulling moves. This is what it is. Don't let no broad sit up here and fool your ass. There are you know what? I could, y'all, if I ever get them to come on, I want to, because I don't divulge the contents of private conversations, but there are some women, if I said their names, you all would know who they are. If I said they're like YouTubers. I say not like YouTubers, they are YouTubers. If I said their names, you would know who they are. And they'd be quick to sit up here and tell you, I don't need to drive no man car. I can get my own. I'm like, you can get a Rolls Royce? Sure can, if you don't sit your lying ass down. Fellas, I've taught you this forever. Etch this into your brains. You don't need to do better than Jay-Z. You don't need to do better than Kanye. You just need to do better than the last two dudes she been with. Take a look at the last two fellas that she been with. If you're doing better than those two, you straight, you set. If you're not doing better than at least one of the last two men she been with, dude, the clock is ticking on you. The clock is ticking because she's got too much proximity to something that was better than you, that could do better than you. She's got too much proximity. Her proximity is too close. She's too sure, at least in her head, that if she wanted to, she could go back there. Maybe. And if she can't, she's got too much close proximity to it that she tells herself, I could. Shout out Project Leroy in the super chat. She's got too much proximity. So fellas, you ain't got to beat Jay-Z, Kanye, Dame Dash. You ain't got to beat none of them. Just take a look at the last two fellas she was with. As long as you can confidently say, I'm better than those two were, that's it. You in the catbird seat. You good. You're good. And that's all you have to do. You are the bag. Because you just established yourself as the best she could do. Now you both know it. From there, it's time to start calling hands. Now, I am not saying that this is for everybody because this is not for everyone. But let me go ahead and take you through the steps here that Zion violated all the damn rules on and is currently in the process of continuing to violate the rules even more because now he's handcuffed to this one and possibly a second one. But let me explain to you the rules. Fellas, first and foremost, if she's not sacrificing for you, this ain't a place that you need to be depositing money. If you aren't willing to spend the time, if you're not willing to spend the money, you damn sure shouldn't be spending the time. So first and foremost, if you cannot definitively say that she's sacrificed to be in your presence, this isn't a good relationship. This is all going to be transactional in an exploitative way. It's going to be transactional in an exploitative way. Because all relationships are transactional, but not all relationships are exploitative. This is exploiting yourself. So if you have to sacrifice, you need to be looking at her and counting and checking how much sacrificing is she doing. If she's not sacrificing for you, she's telling you what your value is. Not very much. Not very much. She's here to get what she can get. When you see that there's this huge lopsided imbalance between what you bring to the table, if you are the table, and what she bringing, you're the table and she ain't bringing nothing to the table at all except her ass. In the case of Mariah Mills, literally. Fellas, wake up, smell the coffee, get a damn clue. She's not sacrificing anything. Think about that for a few moments, people. What bothers you in a relationship? What bothers you in a relationship is what you sacrificed, what you gave up. If she's not sacrificing anything except coming to see you, then guess what? She can pick up and leave this relationship like it ain't nothing because it is. You wonder how it is that she, quote unquote, lost feelings so quickly. It wasn't that she lost feelings. They were never there because she never invested in you. If a woman has invested in you, that's going to be different. That's going to be different. Now, these other women did put in something, but not the same thing I'm talking about. They put in time. And in the case of Mariah Mills, she thought that she had found the last train leaving, and she figured, okay, here comes the gravy train. Now she's salty because the gravy train ain't going to open the door for her. But first and foremost, if she's not sacrificing anything, then that means it doesn't cost her anything to leave. She can get up and leave tonight because it didn't cost nothing. Get that through your head. It cost her nothing to leave. Next order of business here is that if you do have a chick who is sacrificing, you got to give that time. You got to give that time. You can't figure out if she's straight or a model citizen in 6 weeks or 6 months. You got to get that a couple years. Because nobody can be fake for 3 or 4 years. The real thing is going to pop its head out, even if it's only occasionally. When you recognize that the real thing has popped its head up, you better pay attention to that. Because then she might catch herself and say, oh, hell, I let the real thing come out. Let me bury that back down again. Because if she's playing the long game. Fellas, take a look at the last 2-3 men she's been with. You can see whether she's on the decline. If she's on the decline, she's trying to play the long game. She's like, damn, I already hit peak value. I better grab this fella here. I gotta play the long game. But then they start rushing you. See, here's where you fellas get caught up. Next thing you know, they start rushing you. They start rushing you for exclusivity. They start rushing you for gifts. They start rushing you for time. They want to get you knuckled under and see how quickly they can put you in a headlock. They want you to be sacrificed and they don't do anything. So next order of business, guys, is you got to make sure that you put them through their paces. You cannot sit up here and tell yourself it's going to come easy. You got to make sure that you vetted them properly. And vetting them properly means it takes time. You got to sit there and watch it. You got to sit there and observe it. Before you ever spend money, you better spend the time so that you make sure you two are on the same page. Next order of business, when it does come time to break bread, if you gonna do that, if it does come time to break bread, next order of business is what you have to make sure of, first of all, is that she's worth whatever you spending. Fellas, y'all got chicks who are out here bringing you, damn me, $35 of femininity, and you sitting up here spending $100,000. Some of y'all bought houses for females who are bringing you spending $400,000 on a house for a female who's bringing you $25,000 of femininity. You spending $150,000 on a car for a female who's brought you $10,000 worth of femininity. You are bringing her financial excellence and she's bringing you female sub-mediocrity or mediocrity. No, those are supposed to balance out. Those are supposed to balance out. She's supposed to already have shown that she is worth that. So fellas, recognize how the metric works. If a chick start talking to you about Ben Tigers and Cullinans, ask yourself one question. Has this woman brought me a Ben Tiger? Cullinan is any, you ain't gonna pick up one today for less than $500,000, so you can just hang it up. I don't give a damn what you think. You're not gonna pick up a Cullinan today for less than $500,000. If you do, it's just gonna be something they had hanging around. She wants $500,000 of vehicle. You need to ask yourself, has she given me $500,000 of feminine excellence? Have I received $500,000 of femininity and excellence from her? Fellas ain't asking themselves that question. Sit there, look in the damn mirror and just tell yourself, before you write this check, before you obligate yourself, have I received $500,000 of feminine excellence? Have I received $300,000 of feminine excellence? Have I received $250,000 of feminine excellence? Have I received $150,000 of feminine excellence? Have I received $100,000 of feminine excellence? Is the amount of feminine excellence she's giving you balancing out what the hell you expected to do? Because let me tell you, when you start making them payments, and she starts talking to you all kinds of crazy, that means something. Now, if it is time to break bread, what you need to also make sure is that, once again, when I said that she fits that, if you're going to buy shoes, she better make the shoes look nice. She's your representative. If you're going to buy the dress better look, she better be wearing the hell out of it. She's your representative. In other words, everything that you purchase for her should be raising your social value. That's the reason, can I say it tonight? That's the reason you can't buy a fat chick a dress or a luxury car. I said it. I said it. I said it. You don't have to like it, but it's the damn truth. Get mad if you want to.
And deal with it, nigga.
You can't buy a fat broad that killer dress or that killer car because you're spending your money, but what she's doing doesn't raise your value. That's the problem with doing it. There's no reason buying that dream kitchen for a fat broad or one who brings the damn value down. Sir, this isn't raising your value. You could have got the same damn value if you sat up here and rented one. There's no reason to put yourself, you've got $1 million kitchen and a $10,000 broad. What are we doing? What are we doing? $1 million kitchen and a $10,000 female. Fellas, I ain't saying you can't spend the money. Spend the money, spend the bread. Make sure that you're spending it in the right place. Make sure you're spending it in the right place. That's what I'm telling you. So if you're going to go buy her the shoes, buy her the dress, make sure that the dress and the shoes and the car and the woman all match. Make sure that they all match. Make sure they all match. Too many of y'all are sitting up here and y'all are sprung because you don't really have a lot of experience with women. You're so damn sprung, next thing you know, hell. You sitting up here giving $150,000 of car to $5,000 worth of female. See, this is why fellas end up angry. This is why fellas end up black pill, incel. This is why they end up angry, because they were throwing good money after, I would say bad bros, but they ain't. That's why they're angry, because they woke up too soon to realize, I'll be damned, you were not worth the amount of effort that I expended. You weren't worth the effort. There's what I've given you, the benefits I've given you far outweigh the reward that you've given me. So fellas, you got to make sure that walking in the door, that the dress and the shoes and the car and the woman all match. If they do, you're not going to have buyer's remorse. If the woman and the car and the shoes and the dress all match, you ain't going to be angry about those things because they all belong together. You did your due diligence. She sacrificed to get in the game. You made sure that it wasn't fake. You made sure that everything was where it was supposed to be. You made sure that everything matched. That's how you make sure that alpha money is aligned with alpha brains. Now we're going to go ahead and get into some higher level math here. Well, Jason, what about that next damn level? So glad you asked. My man TK Kirkland talked about this. I've talked about this for years. My man TK Kirkland has started talking about this also. We talk about the damn company car. He says some of you Negroes need to get you a nice Toyota Camry. Hey, that could work. If that's where you at right now, and only if it makes sense, because it doesn't make sense for everybody. I would even go so far as to say it may not make sense for most of y'all, but if you're a fella in that position and you can do that kind of thing there, your broad been rolling with you for a few years, and you are certain, it might be time to drop at the dealership. Not in this environment right now, not with these interest rates and these sky high prices, but check back with us in December or January or February here. I'm looking for prices to come down by about 10%. So check back with us this winter. It's going to be a Merry Christmas. Well, for some people, depending on what you're looking at. By the way, if you want to buy a Navigator now, they're selling below MSRP. So if you want to go get one of those, it was still going to be cheap because it's over $100,000. But Jason's strapping you with the game right quick. So Navigators are coming down. I'm looking for everything else to come down next. So keep your eyes and your ears open. It's all coming down just the way I said it to you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You don't get this kind of information anywhere else.
Join me, and I will complete your training.
If you're going to make the expense of a company car, fellas, first and foremost, let me explain to you how this works. First and foremost, you need to be driving the vehicle that you want now. You do not go try to buy a company car that has cross-promotional appeal. You don't try to go buy a company car that has interest to the both of you. Now, that doesn't mean that you go buy something you hate, but what you do is you go buy something that she would be interested in. I've told you all what the rules are here before. When you're dealing with females, females are absolute suckers for a black exterior and white interior. Women are absolute maniacs for a car with a dark colored exterior and a light colored interior. Females love that. Females love it. They love that. I'm giving you some free game right now, but they love that. But it may depend. If this is the chick you've been talking to for a minute and you want to make that move, what you do, you should have already done your due diligence and made sure that you know what it is she likes. You should have done your due diligence and make sure that you know what it is that she likes, so you're not guessing your way through it. Next thing you know, when you come home and throw that thing in the parking lot or throw it in her driveway, this is why I meant to you all here before. The key fob is the new wedding ring. You throw that thing in her driveway and that's it. You tell her, you know what? You got a choice tomorrow. You can drive to work in that Toyota Corolla or you can drive to work in this. I'm just going to leave this here with you. You just make your choice. No pressure. No pressure. I'm just going to leave this in the key fob with you. When you get up tomorrow morning, just take whichever one you feel like it. Just whichever one you want. Dude. Okay. Right colored interior, right colored exterior, right type of wheels on it. This is why you do diligence. She's going to be like, I'll be damned. He brought me this damn thing. It's custom made for me. It's custom made to order. Yeah, don't get her to say yes. Let her sit there and say no. Don't make her say yes. Just get her to leave it in her lap and let her say no. Because here's where fellas get broke off. Dudes. She doesn't want ownership. She wants possession. She doesn't want responsibility. She wants access. She doesn't want the payments. She wants possession. And she wants you to provide it. She ain't never gonna do that. Females spend too impulsively to ever get to the necessary $60,000, $80,000 down. She doesn't want ownership anyway. She doesn't want to deal with the gas. She doesn't want to deal with the oil. She doesn't want to deal with the payments. She doesn't want to deal with the insurance. She doesn't want to deal with any of that. Y'all know how much it costs to get a tire change on a Range Rover? I'm talking about just a Range Rover. I'm not talking about a Bentayga or a Rolls Royce, just a Range Rover. She don't want none of that. Y'all fellas are letting them sit up here and bamboozle you into believing that, oh, she's going to challenge you for it. The hell she is. Just tell her, look here, baby, you make 2 payments on it, and I'll take care of the rest. You better get ready to get that damn thing repossessed, because she's not going to make those 2 payments. Women don't want ownership. They want access. They don't want payments. They want possession. That's it. That's all. But if she's trying to play you, she's going to lean on you super heavy and tell you, fellas, she's letting you know that she's already in her mind separated from you. When she's saying things to you that require access to your resources, but in a way that divorces you from what you've spent, she's telling you, hey, dude, I'm trying to figure out a way to cut you off. So fellas, when you go and if you're going to go get a company car because it's time to feed the troops, and this is essential for you fellas, you're going to have to break some bread at some point because you got to feed the troops. Fellas, you got to feed the troops. Bunch of y'all got your troops out here looking like they with Sally Struthers and Feed the Children. How you going? The army got to stay fed. The army got to stay fed, fellas. Dude, it is what it is. Now, you ain't got to bring them a damn 5-star chef, but fellas, come on now. Let's keep it real. The troops got to get fed. And understand, the troops should be fed commensurate to the value of their ability to fight. If your chick is the special forces, what the hell you got her sitting out here eating sardines and crackers for? Fellas, if your chick is delivering like the special forces, it ain't right that she's sitting out here rolling and eating bugs. Some of you fellas out here, some of y'all's chicks, I mean, she's the Navy SEALs. And you got her eating snakes and bugs in the wilderness. While you riding by in your golf cart, eating filet mignon. Hey, baby, how them roaches? And she over there smiling at you. They good. A little crunchy today. Fellas, come on now. Come on. If she has made good on delivering her 200,000, 300,000, if she's made, if she has given you red bottom accommodation, it should be some red bottoms in there. It should be. If she's giving you Michael Kors accommodation, there should be some Michael Kors in there. If she's giving you Calvin Klein, it should be Calvin Klein in there. If she's giving you Fendi or Gucci accommodation, should probably be a Fendi or a Gucci in there. If she has already made good on her end of it, that's what you do. You feeding the troops. There's nothing wrong with feeding the troops, man. That's what you do. If she has adhered to everything I said, she's sacrificing on your behalf. And by the way, sacrificing also means paying tribute. By the way, ladies, sacrificing also means paying tribute. If the man is buying you all the gifts and every damn thing and you ain't bought him nothing, baby, there's a reason you out there eating bugs and snakes. There's a reason you're out there eating bugs and roaches. There's a reason you're out there drinking river water and tree bark. So fellas, when I say that she's delivering like the special forces, I also mean she's paying her tribute. Ladies, you know the ratio. At least 25 cents to every dollar. At least. If he spends $1 on you and you ain't spending at least 25 cents, just understand you a side chick for a reason. Side chicks ain't got to buy gifts. A bunch of you demoted yourselves. Side chicks ain't got to buy gifts. That's what makes Zion even dumber here. Side hoes ain't got to... Man, look here. Recognize when you're dealing with one of them. By the way, ladies, side hoes, don't complain. Don't complain. Don't complain. If you are not paying tribute, you know you ain't doing it. You know you didn't do it. Don't get mad when the men sit up here and pull up the resources and you know you're playing games. Your job is to make sure that you keep your spot. And to finish up about the company car, fellas, you make sure that's straight. You make sure that's good. You make sure she's sitting where she needs to be. That's it. You have fulfilled your obligations. If you decide in the future that you wish to take it further, that's up to you. You can't decide to sit up here and do nothing like that in no 6 months, 12 months. I don't think you can even make that decision in 2 years. How the hell do you make the decision to buy a Rolls-Royce Cullinan for someone other than yourself in less than 2 years? How did you come to that conclusion? I don't see how you can do it. And all the guys who try to do it, take a look at what happens to them. They all come back whining and complaining. They all come back screaming. Because these chicks sat up here and blew his damn head up, and next thing you know, reality poked his head in. You fellas who are making good money and then you go off and make a permanent commitment to something that isn't worth it, you all are destroying the value of being a peak value man, much less high value. You're destroying it. You're destroying it. You're sitting up here with a chick who can't do anything for you. And if things go south, she gonna be the first one in line to try to destroy everything around you. You don't sit up here and have some damn microblading artist in your damn room all damn night. 'Cause I know you don't know her well enough for that. I know you don't know her well enough for that. You can't sit up here, you making $30 million and you've got a microbe, you got a damn nail technician laying in your bed all damn night long and you don't think she's treacherous? Then you sit up here with some balloon butt artist. We've been linking up since 2021, but she been hoeing them draws on Brazzers and Pornhub for a decade. The plastic surgeon has her own speed dial, and it looks like her plastic surgeon works for the Michelin people. Her damn surgeon looks like they work for Goodyear. Said, damn, we're out of silicone. Let's go ahead and just stuff a tire in here. She's carrying the damn spare in her rear end. What's sacrificing you to? She can't even fit in that damn thing properly. Ma'am, don't even stunt like this gonna work. It ain't. Fellas, that's what I mean, is that the value isn't balanced. The value isn't balanced. It's not balanced. You got alpha money and beta brains. It's not balanced. You fellas are so damn desperate for a female that you can't say no. And listen, every female in this chat room, every female listening to me live or recorded knows, y'all know when you're looking at a fella who will not say no. Every single female listening to me right now, you know for a fact when you are talking to a fella, you can look in his face and you can see this nigga ain't gonna say no. It doesn't matter what I do, he's not gonna say no. I can just run the tables. He's not gonna say no until he runs out of money. But every female here knows, can y'all just tell the truth? That's what the game is. Y'all are looking for fellas who are weak. I mean, if you can take him, you will. You looking at him, it's like, hey, he ain't gonna say no. No, I don't really care about him like that, but he's not gonna say no. Whatever I want, he gonna throw it out there. He gonna trick it off. It is what it is, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But he's not gonna say no. So you got doctors, lawyers, you got entertainers, athletes. Those are the worst case studies, but there's a bunch of square dudes out here in the regular world. Hey, y'all, you gotta tighten up, man. There's a bunch of fellas out here, you making alpha money with beta brains and getting took. You're violating the rules. These females can see that you don't have a bunch of experience and you're violating the rules. And right now, these chicks are playing ruthless game. What do you think? I'm just going to say it. I don't wish bad on anybody. I really, really don't. Zion, I would have chosen a bunch of other people for you than this woman, but this is what you wanted to choose. You're a grown man. You got to live with the consequences of your actions. Y'all, if things go south between him and her, do you think she's going to hit him for less than these chicks usually hit these NBA players with? Or do you think she's going to hit him for more? Do you think she's going to take it easy on him? Or do you think she's going to try to break him? Do you all think that she gonna take it easy on him if the relationship breaks up? Or do you think she gonna go to the most ruthless ass either divorce or child support attorney she can find? You think she's gonna take it easy? You think she's gonna give him an easy time? You think it's gonna be like, well, you know, I remember all the damn good times together? Or do you think she's gonna be like, yeah, you know what, nigga, if this is the last damn hurrah, I'm taking every damn thing I can get. I'm taking everything I can get. That's just the end of it. I'm taking everything. Everything. Fellas, you can't afford to be this damn simple-minded. You can't afford to be this damn simple. He's a young man. He's a young man who has one, possibly two chicks in his damn pockets, basically for the remainder of his career. Some of y'all fellas think you get a broad pregnant and, well, let me go ahead and marry him and this will reduce the breakage. I'm like, dude, you're sitting up here, you got a tar baby, now you're jumping in quicksand. Well, this will get the tar off. Are you serious? No, Zion should at least cut his losses here, but he ain't gonna do it. He's going to try to keep it going unless things get really, really bad, and in which case he might have a second thought about it. But otherwise, no, he's going to see if he can keep running the tables. Because these kind of fellas do that. He thinks he's chosen Lisa. I can't trust him now. Hey, don't anybody say he'll be smart enough not to do it. I can't trust him now. He got the chick pregnant. He already got the chick pregnant. I can't trust him not to make a dumb move now. Not now, I can't. I can't trust him now. I just have to assume that he'll do anything. If he took it this far, I have to assume that he seriously will do anything. I have to assume that now. Because he's already put himself over a barrel and didn't have to. He put himself over a barrel and didn't have to. You expect me to have faith that he's not going to make bigger screw-ups? He'll be telling himself that he's bringing the breakage down by marrying her. We get married, that make it even better anyway. We keep more folk out of our business and things. And, then if things do go bad, it just, at least I ain't gonna worry about child support like that. Man, you're not bringing them closer. Either she in or she ain't. Either she's in or she ain't. Fellas, you got alpha money and beta brains. Too many of you fellas out here, you got your money up and now you got alpha money and beta brains. And here's the problem with that. It always ends badly. How many fellas think that this relationship for Zion is going to end well? How many of you think this relationship is going to end well any better than the other two? How many of you fellas think that Zion's relationship with old girl here is going to end any better than it ended with the other two? How many of you think that? Give me a thumbs up emoji in the chat room if you think it'll end better. Give me the thumbs down emoji if you think it's not going to end any better than it did with the other two chicks, because we see the quality of woman he's choosing. Give me the thumbs up if you think it's going to end better. Give me the thumbs down if you think it's going to be the same or worse. And now he's on the hook for the whole damn tenure of his playing years. His entire playing years now. He's going to be on the hook for the whole damn thing. Whole damn thing. Every year he's playing, these chicks are going to be in his pockets. He can't even make moves like he needs to make moves. He's not even going to be, he won't be able to get the full benefit of what he's doing. Or he's going to have to hold on to her simply because it's cheaper to keep her. Ain't that a hell of a spot to be in to realize I'll be damn, I have a little bit of time when I don't really mess with this broad like that. And then realize, by the way, you got to stay. And hope she don't leave. Because let me tell you, there's nothing more treacherous than a chick out here who thinks that she's got one or two spins of the roulette wheel left in the sexual marketplace. You do understand that, don't you? What if that chick tells herself, well, you know what? Being a single mom didn't prevent me from getting that one NBA player. I can get my Ciara on. Don't you know this has emboldened her? Zion, she already got pregnant by another dude without marriage. Why you got to do it? Why you got to do it? And what makes you think that she's not already telling herself, well, hell, I was able to bag an NBA player after I became a single mom. Why shouldn't I go back into the sexual marketplace and see if I can get me another one? I'll go see if I can grab me one more. Certainly I'll be able to do that. Some of you might be offended, and some of you might disagree. Therefore, the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. This is the place where we lay down the rules. On tonight's program, we're talking about alpha money, beta brains. The phone lines are now open. Zoom is also available as well here. Let me go ahead and pin the Zoom to the top of the chat. So now you got access to that as well. So the Zoom has been pinned to the top of the chat there. Remember, I do give priority on Zoom. Just make sure that you have your microphone and your camera on if you're going to be on Zoom. But I do give priority to Zoom. And on tonight's program here, we're talking about alpha money, beta brains. It's a damn shame. It is a damn shame out here. It is a shame out here, and I wish I could tell you it was going to get easier, but for some of you fellas out here, we got to talk about the bad side of this. There's a bunch of dudes out here. Your money is straight, but man, you ain't. Your money is straight, but you're not. There are a bunch of you guys out here, you want to be working professionals and things. Your money is straight, but you're not. I've had fellas call in to me, man. They're on the trajectory. They're on the rise. The money is coming in good. Next thing you know, y'all are going off and putting yourselves in vulnerable positions. What's the point of having power and wealth and influence if you're putting yourself in a weaker position? And the bottom line is them chicks gonna the bill is gonna come due. Those chicks are gonna give you the payback and the bill is gonna come due. You didn't pay attention to why they got with you. You just disregarded it. And you got to understand, she's not emotionally deficient like you are. Man, these chicks out here like Hall & Oates, they man eaters. They man eaters. Q-Biz, did you say there's a fourth chick? I don't know, man. This better not keep going. It better not keep going. There better not be a fourth one. There better not be a fourth one. Better not be. We can't keep up with them. We can't. It better not be a fourth one. Man, look here. If he messed around and got somebody else sitting up here saying something, man, look here. Man, look here. We'll keep our eyes open. It may happen again. Like I said, I can't put anything past him. Let me go ahead and get to the phone lines. The telephone number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the business. The Zoom is also available here as well. Let me go ahead and get caller from area code 510. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Well, this is August from Oakland. On the Mac.
August from Oakland. What's on your mind?
Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to touch on two things, if you would allow me to. The first one being, in what world do we live in where not only somebody who makes that type of money and has access to women all over the world, what type of man finds that attractive? It has to be a psychosis, a sickness, and it's happening all over the country because there's a lot of men I see walking around with women with glaring insecurities that mutilated their bodies. And it's turned into where even the sought after chick, the quote unquote bad B, is the chick with the ridiculous body proportions, weave glued to her forehead, fake baby hairs or whatever, with all the, all the stuff we talk about that we don't like. But that's the bad B now. That's who you'll see a millionaire, generally an African-American or somebody from, quote-unquote, the culture.
Okay, brother. And what was your second point?
That's the woman that they desire.
Okay, now, and what was your second point? Oh, okay, brother, we don't want to monologue too long. And what was your second point?
The second point was how the internet messed up the game. Prostitution once upon a time was a secret society, pimping and hoeing. The internet made women exposed. If a woman like that got a big trick like Zion, she shouldn't be on Instagram exposed. Even if they had a falling out, she's supposed to be trying to take care of the bag. women have overexposed themselves, and it's just messing up the game all around the board. But sorry, thank you for letting me get that out.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. And certainly, like I say, women used to be able to manage this better, but the females are super undisciplined today. Because here's the real problem. Mariah was supposed to keep her side chick status. What the hell? You've been in the porn business all this damn time with all them white men, and Mariah don't know how to operate in the environment? If that man, oh, look here, ladies, I'm just going to tell you right now, if your mamas was out here hoeing and whatever else they were doing, running these streets and things, let me explain to you how it works with a man with a man with resources. Let me tell you how it works with him. As long as he's still answering the phone for you, you in. As long as he's still answering the phone for you, you got your in. If he sits up here and tell you to fall back and he's trying to be a good husband and all this right here, okay, you just fall back. But if you know that he's a dude who doesn't really rock with just one female, he likes to have more than one female, your job is to recognize, okay, he's still answering the phone for me. This is my chance to show him that I know how to play my position. He just told me what the position is. He just told me I can't really have the main slot. Okay, let me play my position. Because chances are things ain't gonna work out with him and what's her face any damn way. All you just did now was sit up here and remove yourself from the roster altogether. Ladies, if you still are able to call him, or if he's still answering if you call him, you still got your in. You still got your in. Some of y'all were raised by insecure ass hood rat chicks. They sitting up here fighting over a damn Section 8 voucher. If you get a fella and he is the bank, damn the bag, he's the bank. You supposed to know how to navigate that. But this is the thing I'm telling y'all. There's a bunch of folks out here who don't recognize what the hell it is. I put up a post on Facebook here a few days ago telling people, don't let people going nowhere talk you into giving up $1 million future for $1,000 future. You got access to somebody who's sitting on millions. You supposed to just sit tight. I don't want to be sharing him. Baby, I'm sitting here watching her on video sharing a man. Y'all, Mariah, first of all, for those of you who are late, I don't know what the hell you doing sitting here late. Something wrong with you. But Mariah Mills sat up here talking about how she don't like threesomes. I'm not into threesomes. Meanwhile, you all can Google it right now. It's a bunch of videos of her having threesomes, except they're white men. So, baby, you sitting up here lying on yourself. I don't know why. It's just stupid. And instead of her just saying, okay, look here, if you got to share him for a few years, all right, as soon as he fall out with old girl, you still in position. That's where you supposed to be. Now she done messed it up across the board. Do you think that any of them damn porn producers are going to break you off a Rolls Royce? Do you think that any of them are going to do that? Ladies, there are a bunch of y'all. Can we just tell it like it is? Ladies, there's a bunch of y'all who have let people talk you out of $1 million future and got you sitting on $1,000 future. I'm good. Okay. All right. If you say so. I don't believe you. Let me go ahead and get over here on Zoom. Dan, you're doing the most out there tonight, brother. You're looking like Mission Impossible.
Let me pull my chair back a little bit, so I'm actually on the porch while you was talking.
I'm just saying you got the light behind you like you're in witness protection.
Oh no, absolutely not, brother. Absolutely not. My apologies. Absolutely not.
Okay, what's on your mind?
I've been listening since you came on, and you're giving out some facts. The question I have is, where is his homies at and his uncles, or you know what I'm saying, at least some homies that really, you know what I'm saying, got his best interest at heart, or where's the women in his family at that can tell him like, hey man, because usually the women in your family, they'll call it out, even if they don't have the best advice. At least they would tell you like, hey nephew, or hey little cousin, like, hey, that ain't it.
First of all, these young men don't have that anymore. That's a bygone era. Second of all, the females are out here freestyling. They don't have anything going on. The females are out here just freestyling. They don't know what's happening. So everybody's trying to grab the bag, however they can get the bag any old kind of way. But that's all they're really doing. There is no strategy at work here. There is no strategy at work. Not from anybody. Thank you very much for giving us a call here. Now, I want to let you all know one more thing here, by the way. In the chat room, for everyone here in the chat room here, you all said that Zion Williamson, he was the one who at the NBA, when he got drafted or whatever, he thanked his mom and didn't say a word about his stepdad. Is that what you all were saying here? Is that the same one? Let me make sure I got this straight before I say anything else. Is that the same one? Zion Williamson? Is he the same one? So Zion Williamson, let me get this straight. Zion Williamson, when he got drafted, he thanked his mother and didn't thank his stepfather. Is that correct? So his stepfather is the one who helped him learn how to play basketball. And when he got drafted, he thanked his mama, but not his stepdad. Well, on the one hand, I want to feel sorry for his stepfather. On the one hand, I want to feel sorry for him. I really do. But on the other hand, I'm not so sure that I can. On the other hand, I'm not so sure that I can. Because when you sit up here and you look around and you see about the stepfather in particular, he's the one I'm taking a look at, and I'm like, I don't know. Stepdad might not be so solid. Because after all, if you expect me to hold a grudge about Zion not thanking the stepfather, I don't know. I don't know. Because it looks like stepdad isn't really holding that big of a grudge or an issue about it. By the way, just thought I would point this out to you right quick, in case anybody was wondering. Where's the stepdad stand on it? Stepdad's not holding too much of a grudge. Let me go ahead and go back here into the Zoom. Okay, I got Leets on deck here. So Leets, go ahead and turn everything on for us here. And we'll go ahead and get you up here next. So Leets, go ahead and make sure we have everything on. We'll give you 5 seconds here to get that all straightened out for us. Okay, we got the most going on over here, brother. Okay, I'll catch him late night. All right, brother, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm in my cousin's house, my bad. Jason Black, I need more than an hour to talk to you, man, because it's been so long that I'm trying to find somebody outside of the regular BS of mainstream talk to tell me the truth about everything.
Sign up for our patron.
Where do you go? Where do you go to sign up for?
The link is in the description.
Oh yeah, okay. Man, I got a whole bunch of stuff to say right now. But how long do I got? 15 minutes?
Choose your top 2 things, sir, and give it 30 seconds each.
Okay, my problem is with men today. I understand what women doing. Women nowadays, you know what I'm saying? It's like 3 generations in of hustlers. So I ain't mad at them. They're doing what they got to do to survive. It's just black men, and I'm surrounded by idiots, Jason. I'm surrounded by dumbasses. Excuse my French. It's like every black man now is just chasing tail or chasing garbage and talking about NBA and LeBron James and bullshit all day. I can't find nothing serious. There's nothing like valuable with these men nowadays. And I'm not surprised that what Zion did is what impregnated a whole damn single mom and got a porn star almost pregnant too. I'm not surprised about that. It's just that Jason, how do you separate yourself from the pack? Because I'm trying to figure out okay, I'm doing all this hustling because I don't want a regular job, Jason. I don't want to work at these 9 to 5s no more. I'm just getting my own stuff, my own the LLC, my own business, my own
Well,
everything.
you know, what you're going to have to do is focus on being excellent. And excellence starts with you as a person. So before you try to make the money, you better raise the value of yourself. Your income is a byproduct of raising the value of yourself. The more valuable you become, the more valuable your life is. Think of it like losing weight. Spot training doesn't work. You can't lose weight in just one, you can't lose fat in just one part of your body. You lose fat all over. It's holistic. Succeeding and excellence are the same thing. You start at one thing, and how you do one thing hopefully becomes how you do all things. Now, if you're an athlete, unfortunately, you can be excellent at basketball and suck at everything else. Because that's not natural selection, that's unnatural selection. So you're being given opportunities that are not truly based on your ability to gain the opportunity. It's based on a sports league that's like hitting the lottery. The rest of us can't depend on that. But what I want for you to do here, you really need to sign up for my Patreon. We'll be doing this here tomorrow at 12 noon. So you definitely want to do that if you need to go on for a while about it, because I want to address all your questions and things for however much time you need. But certainly you want to consider that as well. What's another thing you want to ask me?
Yeah, really about helping, because I'm really close to friends that are really into this. Like they're not aware about what they're doing. Like I have one friend that's planning on getting married, and I don't think he properly vet that woman. And I ain't trying to ruin that relationship, but how do I approach?
You don't.
You said I don't?
You don't. Listen to me. If he's wrapped up with a chick, he'll sit up here and have a falling out with you over her. That's the story old as time. You know why? Because she doing things with him that you ain't doing. And that you can't do. So his rationale to every objection you make is going to be a 2-word delusion. It's different. Well, yeah, I know what you're saying, but for her, it's different. Well, yeah, I know that at least, but it's different. That's going to be the response. Because his connection to her is not his connection to you. You can't make that, I don't care how long you've known him. His connection to her is not his connection to you. You can't compare those two. He will sit up here and have a falling out and a fist fight in the front damn yard with you and keep her. And then a year later, she leaves him, trashes his ass, cleans him out financially, destroys him. And he'll be on your phone boo-hooing and saying, oh, please, I'm sorry, man. You know, I didn't see you. That's what it'll be. So all you can really do is tell him, I got some questions. Just say, hey, man, have you done your due diligence? And then just lay out the questions that you have, but they can't be suspicions. They need to be concrete. And that's all you can do. After that, leave it alone, because all you're really going to do is get into a Donnybrook with him. It's if he doesn't listen to you the first time you say it, she got too much of a hold of him.
But check this out, Jason. I don't want him to turn out to be like these red pill losers out here, because it seems like those men don't experience women in their teenage years, and once they gotten a certain amount of money, because I work with them, or I used to work at a I don't want to disclose my job. I used to work at a call center, and I was surrounded by these dudes. These dudes, women wearing tight dresses and high heels and everything. But you know, it wasn't that hard to sleep with them. All you had to do was be a man and not even pay nothing. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to pay nothing. But these dudes were paying, going on dates, flying them out, going to Jamaica, and getting cheated on and wiping them up, and they turn into red pill losers. You know, complaining about women all day.
Well, first of all, what you just described, that's not somebody who turned into one. That was somebody who was already one. You need to recognize the difference. They didn't turn into nothing, brother. They were already that. You're just seeing the final evidence of it. When the fella see, because a woman don't sit up here and go to Jamaica and be getting run through by folk, and there's not warning signs all over the place before she ever went. You can see what she was before she ever got on that plane. But if these fellas are just so desperate for a piece of female because he doesn't know how to qualify for something higher quality, that's a personal deficiency. That's not an employment deficiency. That's not a general population problem. That's a personal character flaw. And you cannot fix other people's personal character flaws. They have to make a decision that they're ready to change. So you all see thousands of people here, but it's usually because I'm thinking out of tens of millions of people, you got thousands here. Yeah, these folk are ready to change. The folk you talking about, they're not ready to change. So some people are happy losing. They're happy operating at a low level. It's only when the pain threshold becomes so excruciating, so unbearable that they can't take it anymore, then they want to make changes. But usually they're making changes from a position of weakness, and they've made mistakes that they can't ever recover from. They've made permanent mistakes that are just going to follow them for the rest of their lives. That's just life, young man. But it's not your job or your responsibility to save them. It is your job and responsibility to be the best example that you can, so that maybe that will influence them to say, hey, you know what, but I'm doing this over here, but old Leeds, it seems like he's living a little bit better over there. It seems like he got a little bit more freedom things. Let me holler at him for a minute. Then you can have people listen to you. But I want you to understand something, young man. Nobody's going to listen to you if they don't want to be like you. So before you all, if you want to know why it is that you don't do well at influencing other people, it's because folks are looking at you and then they ask themselves, do I want to be like you? And if in his opinion, even if it's jaded, colored, wrong, if he thinks he's doing better with women, better with money, better with life than you, there's not much incentive for him to listen to you. So once again, folks, you cannot change. You want to change the world, change yourselves. If you want to truly influence the world, change and alter yourself, and the world will have no choice but to change for you. But you can't do that if you're refusing to change yourself. So stop trying to drag them. You work on being the best version of you can be, and that will give you the maximum influence you can have. Anything outside of that, don't worry. They'll come looking for you after they've gotten their asses kicked. Then they'll be ears open. Of course, there may not be very much you can do for them after that, but don't worry. They'll slither their way back to you. In any case, thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. You are very welcome to go ahead and join our Patreon as well. Let me get back over to the phone lines. Let me get caller from area code 224. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Robert. I'm calling from Miami.
All right, Robin from Miami. And what's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm just piggybacking off what that last caller. I just think that everything that you explain is a product of what's wrong with Black culture, basically, specifically Black men today. And with you, Jason, I think sometimes you are, giving contradicting information. Basically, you're telling men about the female nature on your business podcast, but on your the Black Authority podcast, you kind of teach Black men to be victims and not leaders, basically. So, because again, it's a huge product of.
Caller from area code 434. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
AJ Hayes, called out of Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay, what's your name again?
Jay.
Okay, Jay out of Raleigh.
Called out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Yeah, for one, I just wanted to say that Zion and Job making the Carolinas look bad with their antics, and then two, I just like the fact that old girl called him a sex addict. That might be true. It's just.
Well, I mean, here's the problem, brother. How the hell you gonna be a damn porn chick calling somebody a sex addict? She's sitting up here and paid thousands of dollars to get her, Play-Doh behind. Got the nerve to call somebody a sex addict. We're sitting here watching her get stretched out by a white man and two white women, and two white women, and she's talking about a sex addict. Do you realize how much of a sex addict you have to be tag teaming a male and a female? And she's calling him a sex addict. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know what kind of drugs she's on, but this is why, fellas, crazy is awesome in bed. I get it. This chick is so great in bed, she can do porn for it. You supposed to leave that where it is. You supposed to have your fun with it and leave it where it is. Now take a look at what's happening. She's calling you names that it's unreal to hear it. It's unreal.
Not for real, for real. And then it got two questions. One is how, I guess, collectively speaking, I know he doesn't represent black men as a whole, but damn it, he makes the ones that try to produce and upgrade their lives look bad. Like myself coming from as an engineer, I'm just like, these Johns be talking about, oh, buy me this or buy me that off the gate. I'm like, nope. The fuck wrong with y'all? Excuse my language, you know what I mean? But like,
yeah, I mean, the weak
but then
tend to
kinda hard,
condition
like,
the weak
Lord.
tend to condition everybody to think we're all like that. And that's the real dangerous part of it, is that they condition everyone to think that we're all in the same boat, or that enough of us are. We don't need any more Russell Wilsons and their kind influencing everyone to sit up here and think that we're all just here for the damn taking. That's the problem. So when you got a major figure like this showing up in sports, and it just reinforces, females already have an exploitative, vain gene to them, and this kind of thing here just gives them hope. See, we can all do it. And of course, obviously you can't. Obviously it's a fluke. And we know this is going to end badly. Conditioning the world to think that we're all just bucks or well-paid ones, and we're just waiting for somebody to come exploit us. That's a deadly situation to be in. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Let me see. Here on Zoom, I got Chili Mo up next. What is on your mind, brother?
What up, JB? Hey, I'm gonna make this quick, but I blame you though. If anybody needs to get blamed, I blame you.
It's probably
Where was
my
you
fault.
at in 2008, man?
Man,
when
look
we needed you.
Man, look here. I was trying to get
when
my.
We needed you.
Well, actually, I was trying to get out here then. The algorithm was keeping me down, so you should have asked where I was in 2000. Jason, where were you back in 2000? Would you like me to be honest with you, brother? Now, I'll take this L. I'm being honest. I will take this L. Y'all, do you want to know where Jason Black was back in 2000, 2002? Y'all know. My girlfriend back then, size 6 waist, size 12 rear end. And let me tell you, I was gripping. I'm not gonna lie to you, brother. I was gripping. 23 years old, 24 years old. That was it. 5 cars across the front yard. Jason, where were you at in 2002 on my way to bankruptcy? That's where I was in 2002. I'm just telling you right now, it's just, I didn't care about anything else. My money was so damn straight. You got to remember, for a kid from Shreveport, Louisiana, and, you know, I was making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year by that time. So as far as I was concerned, as long as she was straight and I had money in my pocket and the cars were the way I wanted it to be, that was my biggest, I'm like, that was the only bill I was concerned with as satisfying. That right there. So you want to know what I was doing? The same thing Zion was doing, except I didn't get nobody pregnant and I didn't have this damn cartoon character in my bed. But you want to know where I was? I'm not going to lie to you. I was out there and stuff. I got my ass kicked and that corrected me. I got my ass kicked and that corrected my perspective on all that. So I was like, yeah, let me just fall back. But yeah, I'll take that L. Yeah, I was there. Sure was.
I ain't gonna lie, JB, man. Look, man. When you gonna tell the world, man, you the biggest professor from Shreveport to NYC, man? When you gonna let the world know, man? You giving us too much game, man. And the lames kind of, you know, they be, you know, snooping around. So you giving these lames too much game, man. Let Zion get the young boy treatment, man. I'm proud of him. Let him get the young boy treatment. I'm talking about STDs and all, man. Have 10 kids by these hoes, man. Let them get the same treatment, man. I'm proud of that boy. See, you high echelon, you know what I'm talking about? So, you know, you can't hate on niggas like that. But me, let that boy get that treatment, man. Let him shine. Let him ball.
Well, I want him to shine. I just don't want him to sit up here and mess up his whole damn life, because most of these dudes retire broke today because they made decisions early on. You don't know how important. You don't get to 40 being straight unless you were in your 20s straight. You can't get to your 40s and try to figure, because you know the average length of an athlete is only 5 to 7 years. At most.
Oh, yeah.
And he's in his 20s now, so it's not like he can mess up now and his money's only going to keep going up until he retires. We all know it's going to go to a certain point, and then when he stops performing, it's either going to go down slowly or go down quickly. The moves that he makes now are in his 20s are what will determine where he's going to be in his 40s. Because you're not an appreciating asset. You're not.
He ain't no Shaq neither, so I want him to get the best of it. You know what I'm saying? I think he need 4 more. He needs to get 4 more hoes pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Have 2 more injuries. and we'll see him 10 years from now when he's 32, man.
Well,
we'll see
you
how
might
he
not
turn
see
out.
it that long. All I can say, y'all want 2 words, Stromile Swift. And I should know he's from Shreveport too, so I got 2 words for you, Stromile Swift. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that. Like I say, fellas who make bad decisions early or don't look down the road far enough with the decisions that they're making, that's kind of where they end up at. Call from area code 321. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason, how you doing? This is Antoine from Orlando. I just have 2 parts. I mean, you can't blame old fella. Let's keep it real. He's 22 with a lot of money, $30 million. You know, if I was 22 and had $30 million, I would have flied out all my favorite porn stars too.
Yeah, but here's my thing though, brother. Here's my thing. And I understand what you're saying. It's like, okay, if you're young, this is why young people should not be given so much power. They may legally be able to squander it, but morally, this is wrong of us to let them do that. Legally, they can squander it, but morally, we shouldn't allow that. It was only after Gary Coleman that we stopped allowing child actors to get in that position. That's not a good thing because somebody should be protecting them from that because this is how you get messed up. But there's one other thing. You got young rappers today who are doing a hell of a lot better than folks used to do in the music industry 40 years ago. We got a bunch of them do a whole lot better today. And the reason for that is because in 1990, Ice Cube left NWA. And he made it very clear, hey, I'm young, but the money ain't right. And ever since Ice Cube did that, that was a revolution in the music business because it got young people focused on not just signing a record deal, but signing to get all their money. And watching, all of a sudden, folks started talking. They started learning the music business and learning masters and publishing and what that really means. Learning about radio airplay and that it's the writer of the song who gets paid, not the performer of the song. It doesn't matter who sang the song. If you didn't write the song, and if you're not publishing the song, you don't get paid residuals from radio airplay. Then we go off to things like mechanicals and reproduction. So Ice Cube was a revolution for us. And today, it doesn't matter if they're 18 or 19 years old. All of them have some concept of masters in publishing that is not just about signing any old deal and here we go. I got to put this on the NBA now. They done had Deion Sanders talk to him, Kareem, Magic Johnson. It's not that they don't have the information. They've watched the whole damn, Ferris wheel of folk before them get trashed out in the game. So it's not like they don't know.
But the women coming at them is hardcore for the basketball players because I see some of these videos of these quote unquote gold diggers. You see it with Brittany Renner. They said the basketball players are the dumbest and they get the most money. I mean, let's keep it real. In today's basketball, the dude that sits on the bench gets an easy mill.
Well, can we just keep it
they
real?
Don't even go at the
let's keep it real though, brother. The NBA didn't start making no real money until the 80s. You didn't have females sitting up here popping up with bastard kids all over the place until you get to the late 80s, early 90s. Well, what does that tell you? That the rapid increase and rise of females getting pregnant by athletes directly paralleled when these leagues started paying them millions of dollars. So when you start seeing millions get thrown around in the NBA, here comes scandalous chicks. When millions get thrown around in the NFL, here come the scandalous. Notice, you didn't have no scandalous females show up in golf until Tiger Woods. Think about that for a few moments. Tiger Woods was not the first black man, semi-black man, to play golf. But you didn't have groupies and hoes showing up until Tiger got there. Yeah, because the money didn't really come up until Tiger got there. That's just a fact of life. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. So when you got the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, you name it, when you start got a bunch of money floating around, this is what it's going to be. The movie business is different because the movie business is more discriminating in who they let in. Everybody just can't get in because if a movie studio is going to make a film for $200 million, there's only going to be a few people who are going to get a shot at that. That's not a mass product. In the NBA, the NFL, you got hundreds of men who work there as athletes. Hundreds. in Major League Baseball, hundreds. So when you're dealing with that, that's a whole lot more opportunities for a chick to slide in. And then when you notice when they do, they always dogpile the same dummy. Once one guy gets a chick pregnant, they all dogpile him. So this is the way it is. It's a strategy. So I can't say that this is a new thing. Those chick, and furthermore, when you think about it for a few moments, we talk about the music business. There used to be a lot, technically speaking, in comparison, there was more democratization of that then. Folks in the music business have always had a bunch of chicks around them. Hell, Jerry Lee Lewis, the so-called killer, Elvis Presley. I can go down the list. They always had chicks around them. Always. That's not new. That was where, that was where the money was.
So this chick Mariah, like, she always messing with white dudes, and she always been called in bed when there's no video of seeing her with a black guy. Do you think that the reason why she don't have no video with a black guy because I guess she likes black guys in real life and she catches feelings because she's just going too ham for just losing the bag? It's just she's still white. She still texts things right now. You go on her Twitter, she's still putting stuff out. Like this is just too much.
Mariah look here. If you a chick doing porn, we already know you're emotionally imbalanced. I mean, let's not play about it. If you're a chick doing porn, we already know the deal. We already know that you're emotionally imbalanced. What we need to stop doing is playing with you. But you're already screwed up in the head. Take a look at her rear end. This is a woman here. She has had a total break with reality. She's had a total separation and snapping from reality. And those white men don't care. As long as she's willing to sit up here and get naked, because remember, it's an amusement. I mean, we're way past Sarah Bartman. For those of you who don't know your history, we way past Sarah Bartman here. When you take a look at Mariah Mills, Sarah Bartman should be the first thing that comes to your mind. And when you start thinking that, it's like, whoa, this is a whole lot deeper than folks are giving it credit for being. So when you see them white men piled up on this modern day Sarah Bartman like this, you start realizing that, whoa, this is like exploitation. Because remember, porn is only entertaining when there's an element of shame to it and an element of degradation. That's why you have so-called different genres. But when you take a look at the different genres, the different fetishes, they all become more shameful and more demeaning and more degrading. The various things of doing stuff to your face and 3 or 4 guys and trying to pile up in the same orifices. That's not sexual pleasure, that's degradation. Hey, look at this right here. Take a look at how wild and crazy and stupid this chick is. Take a look right here. When it becomes a spectacle, there's one thing to do something that is for sexual, arousal, and then there's doing something that's a sexual spectacle. And Mariah is a sexual spectacle. So when they do things with her, it's just for the spectacle value. And when you take a look at this at a real deep level, and you don't have to go far to get that deep, you realize what you really see. Now, a chick who is already in Sarah Bartman territory, she desires to be exploited by them. She went to them. Any interaction that she has with you is not the same as the interaction with them, as evidenced by, and I brought my invoices. Take a look on your screens. You'll see it in a minute. But screen number 3 that I had up, where Zion is literally telling her, I want to get to a point where you only effing with me, and it's not always transactional. And to which she responds, I just wanted to retire from OnlyFans this year. So she is telling him in no uncertain terms, she's spelling it out in no uncertain terms, that I'm only talking to you because there's the bag. These white men, I desire them, but they don't have an exit strategy for me. So I really want to be over there, but they're not going to give me what I want. So you know what? I'll lay up with you if it gets me what I want. The moment, the instant that she started to have anything that made her insecure about getting what she wanted, thus he got another chick pregnant. This ain't the time for you to be losing your damn mind. But what she's saying is, I'll be damned, he's getting ready to replace me. He's getting ready to ship me off. I'm getting ready to get thrown out. And that wasn't really what was going to happen. That was not what was going to happen. Nobody knew about her until she said something. Nobody knew a thing about her until she said something. There's your proof right there that that wasn't going to happen. But she's letting you know that she can't take, emotionally, she can't take anymore. Far as she's concerned, that's as far as she wants to go with it. That's it.
She would stay quiet if he was white. If he was white, she would stay quiet.
Oh, if he was white, we wouldn't even know she was with him. We wouldn't even know. She would be dead ass quiet. So no, she doesn't really have any love or respect for black men. She has what she can get out of them. And this is what I'm telling fellas. Fellas need to stop in this damn era. We need to stop this damn trick culture where you are sitting with a female. When you're sitting with a chick who's way younger, way out of your league, who is way from a different culture or a different place, and you've had conversations with her where she starts talking about a man who's got finances and this, that, and the other, you're supposed to be able to immediately see through that and say, yeah, okay, I see what you're here for. When you have males whose animal instincts are so dulled and so dumbed down that they cannot see a threat to their survival when it walks in the room, at that point you have to ask, is this a male who's worthy of survival? You should be able to see when a female is only here for what she can get out of you. She gonna smile, she gonna wink, she gonna wiggle them butt cheeks, she's gonna talk about daddy, you the greatest, this, that, and the other. Don't you realize, by the way, ask yourself one question. If I did not have my money, would she still be here? If I had everything else I have, but we knock a couple of zeros off my income, would she still be here doing what she's doing and being as enthusiastic as she is? Ask yourself that. And if you have the slightest question in your mind, you already know what the answer is. But the truth of the matter is, brother, there's so many weak males. I'm not going to say so many. There's a lot of weak males out here today who are desirous to be exploited. They're raised like hoes. They're raised like hoes. So women whore themselves. Yeah. Women whore themselves with their bodily organs. Men whore themselves with their resources. And that's what a simp is. A simp is a whore. He is a whore of resources.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I think that's because of the single moms. The single moms raise their sons to like give to women, never really bet, and then they teach their daughters to go for a man, get everything they can out of a man. Two different philosophies.
Right, but here's my thing is that nowadays, dudes used to be smart enough that they were dealing with a chick who was a hoe. They just let it be that. She had her position and they stayed there. In the single mom era, you don't even have these males. I'm not telling Zion that he needs to sleep with just one female. Zion, if you want to sit up here and line up the whole damn list of cheerleaders in New Orleans, knock yourself out if that's what you want to do. Y'all are consenting adults. What I'm saying is that you should exercise some wisdom because I can't respect a man who lets himself get run over and exploited by women. I can't respect you. I can't respect you if you're a glutton for punishment. I can't respect you. So with that being the case, you got to move a certain way if you want to be respected by the men. So it's not the fact that he wants to deal with so many women that's the problem. It's the fact that he's being foolish about it. Why can't you just move like you need to move? If you want sexual access to all these women, do like, well, I can't say your father or your stepfather because I see who raised you. But do like what your grandfather would have done. Make sure she has a position and that's it. And then keep your hands strong and that's it. Things go the way they're supposed to. They're looking for a woman to exploit them. Guys, if it's going to be, y'all need to make sure if it's going to be sex, just let it be that and be happy there. Then they get with folk and then they start letting their emotional deficiencies get the better of them. And next thing you know, I could make a wife out of this. Dude, don't you damn well see. You got, take a look at the chicks that he's choosing from sexually. You got one who's a baby mama by some dude. You got another one who's a porn chick, for God's sake. Then you got another one who is a microblading artist. This is the chicks who got access to his bed. I'm talking about high level access. They got high level. Mariah, he been running around with her for years. Ain't got her own. He doesn't have her properly under management yet. 2 years he been running around with her and she's still not under management, not under proper management. Still not. Now they're out here they're literally out here trying to assassinate this character and destroy him. And all I'm saying is that under these circumstances, I can't trust anything else you're going to do. He needs somebody to step in and tell him, you know what, let me make all your decisions for females for you going forward because you're not qualified. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Let me get over here on Zoom. I got my man, Immigrant B1, up on deck. All right, brother.
How you doing?
What is on your mind?
So the first thing I want to say is that I'm an immigrant. I'm African immigrant, so I don't know what it means. I don't know what it feels like to be a Black American. Growing up in the U.S. under white supremacy, and then finally being able to make it, into the league. So I can't judge Zion or Ja Morant too harshly from that perspective. But on the other hand, this is very unfortunate because this could have been avoided. This situation could be very different. And I think that part of the problem is that Zion and Ja, they're young men who are very talented, who develop the ability to make a lot of money, but the people around them didn't get to a point where they were comfortable, to the point where they had their own money. So it becomes difficult to say no to someone when you know that you're depending on him financially.
Right. Well, let me address that first thing there is that, I've never been raised or was born as a soccer player from Kenya or France, but I'll be damned if I'm going to walk into a bad situation. So I don't necessarily have to have been born in that environment to be able to deal with this situation here, because we're just talking about survival. Everybody understands money and everybody understands reproduction. And we just have to accept that there are some fellas out there who are so damn deficient. They're not, and it goes back to their mamas. Ladies, y'all got to hold this L. It goes back to their mamas. Because if mama was straight, if mama was a paragon of feminine virtue, the son is going to gravitate to a certain type of female. A son isn't going to try to make a permanent attachment to a female who ain't straight, who doesn't have it together, because he was raised by a certain type of woman. And the certain type of woman he was raised by, that's what he is most comfortable with. So when I got a young man and his sexual resume is filled with some of the lowest of the gutter, when I'm taking a look at a young man and this stuff isn't just wild, this is just outrageous. When I see that, I gotta call foul. I gotta call foul. I gotta look at the mom and say, why is your son so comfortable in this environment with these kind of women? What type of woman have you been where your son is so incredibly comfortable in precisely this environment? What did you do? What has he seen his mama do that makes him so comfortable with these women having such unlimited access and such unfettered proximity to him? So I gotta look there. And when you've been conditioned by your mom to suicide yourself for her, yeah, man, I don't see how it turns out right. So no wonder when you see him thanking his mom, but not his stepdad, I'm just like, okay, now that he's out here in the world choosing the caliber of women that he wants, we can't say that he didn't grow up with a man in his life. We can't say that. We can't say he didn't grow up with a man in his life. He had one. So he had both his mother and his father in his life. And take a look at the choices he's made. Take a look at the women he's comfortable being around. Not just one or two of them. All of them on Instagram. All of them tatted up and hood ratted up. Single moms. Wannabe single moms. One chick in particular whose body count is out of this damn world. She literally does porn. You literally can drop some dollars and she gonna do what it do. And he knows this, and yet there she is. Here's what I'm saying is, if you got to jump off, it shouldn't be a porn chick. I'm like, how can you even be okay with this, knowing that she ain't been passed around, she's been drug around, and yet she has had access to him for years. And she's a security threat. That's my biggest issue. She's a security threat. She's been a security threat since day one. All he did was just sit here until she started springing the messages on him. Dude, this broad been a security threat. She's been tuning up to do this kind of thing. She been showing you this is what she is. She should never have had this kind of access. Never. This is the kind of chick who will disregard the NDA. fellas, you need to have standards. This is the kind of chick who will ignore an NDA to get at you. This is the kind of chick who will deep six her life. This is the kind of chick who will go to jail trying to get at you. This is a chick who will throw her whole damn life away, what's left of it, trying to get at you. A man has to be smart enough not to have somebody around him who's on self-destruct or is available to have self-destruct. Somebody who doesn't have anything, has no problem with going back to having nothing. Zion could have had her set up good for life. She could have just played the side chick role. Hell, heifer, you've been doing it for a profession. Then white men she's sleeping with in California and they recording her. She ain't asking them where they going when they leave. She's not asking them who they going to when they leave. How the hell you gonna sit up here and give Zion the third degree? Play your damn position. Just make sure, hey, show him it is what it is. You a stomp down hoe. Show him you was solid. You still be in the game. Now she's just separated herself from the only bag she ever get. Ain't gonna be nobody else. Show me another athlete, entertainer, or a man of any finances who's ever gonna get close to her again. Show me another one who is ever going to leave themselves available or vulnerable to get that, for her to get that close to them again. Show me who's going to do that. Nobody is going to leave themselves open and available. Not going to happen. All these chicks who done that stuff before, that ain't going to happen. Amber Rose, everybody who thought they was going to be treacherous, nobody has opened the gates for you again. So that was it. She just shows you that even if she ever did come across the bag, all she's going to do is fumble it. And guess what she's telling herself? Well, that's okay. I can go back out. I can just head back out there to California and get stretched out over a table by 4 white men now. That's all she's thinking. Oh, well, I can sit up here and slang these ridiculous ass draws and there'll be somebody who's willing to do something for me. That's the problem. And when you're dealing with somebody like that, you're supposed to have them at a distance. They're not supposed to have unrestricted free access to your life. You're supposed to be dealing with them at a distance. To the point that if she does say something, nobody will believe her. Now, even if she did try to blow your spot up, nobody would even really believe it. They wouldn't believe you were fooling nothing like that. And she wouldn't have enough documentation to get them to believe. All she have is a throwaway text number, throwaway cell phone number. It's like, no, there's no documentation, not for you. She start bucking back, you start telling, I don't think we can talk anymore. But when, like I said at the beginning, when you're dealing with a guy who will not say no, females know when they're dealing with a fellow who won't say no. He's supposed to be doing her like the damn club. Drop your cell phone in his bag when you come in. I'm for real. I am serious. He's supposed to be doing her like a Chris Rock concert. Drop your cell phone in his bag when you come to the door. Drop your cell phone in the bag. As a matter of fact, turn it off and then drop it in this bag right here. And then that's it. Let me put this in the safe. That's what hotels got safes for. Go ahead and put this in the safe. You can get this back on your way out. You can get this on your way out. If you're going to deal with a treacherous chick, you got to make sure that she understands you see what she is. She'll have respect for you and she'll eventually stop even trying that mess. But look, babies, ladies are looking for a sucker today, man. They're looking for a sucker, and there are fellas out here with alpha money and beta brains. You can't afford to have it. You can't afford to be so damn desperate to have female company that you are willing to just throw away every damn thing you got. She's willing to throw it in. You're not supposed to be.
And like you said, Jason, the one thing you said, well, the two things you said that really caught my attention was the idea of him being a security threat, because I'm in the army and I have a clearance, and that's one of the things that could easily get you kicked out or at least have you lose your clearance when you have somebody around you who doesn't know how to keep their mouth shut or control themselves. They just start talking and saying things. And if you're someone who is, like you said, emotionally weak, and you yourself, you run your mouth when you're next to them, the next thing you know, they're going to start talking about things that you told them because they want to brag about, how you're in the army, how you have a security clearance, and then everybody gets in trouble. And then before you know it, you're losing your clearance, you're losing all the opportunities that you could have gotten. So that what you said about him being a security threat. And then think about all the people who may have been thinking about associating themselves with with Zion. Maybe the companies that were trying to endorse him and stuff like that. Maybe the more child friendly companies that might have been looking at him like a wholesome person.
Yeah, I mean,
that
look,
he could use.
companies. There's a reason why companies lined up for Steph Curry. There's a reason that they lined up for Kobe Bryant. There was a reason that they lined up for Shaquille O'Neal. Like I say, these weren't the guys who reached the heights of Jordan, but they showed a level of discipline until Kobe went out to Colorado. But you take a look at who these companies really put the big bag and the big investment behind. They were willing to do it for Tiger until they realized, okay, he's out of control too. But that's generally what they look for. They're looking for a safe investment. Because if you can't handle the women in your personal life, how are we going to expect you to handle our business? Yeah. And we can't keep going back and try to retrieve $100 million, $300 million. We can't do that. We need to make sure that when we make a step, we make that step one time, the first time, that's the only time we got to do it. We can't sit up here and be suffering setbacks because you can't handle, because the way you play basketball isn't the way you live the rest of your life. We can't sit up here and find ourselves behind the 8 ball because how you do one thing is how you do that thing, and the rest of your life is completely different. The only thing you do with competence is run up and down the ball, up and down the court with the ball. Everywhere else, you're completely incompetent. You don't make investments in that. It'd be better for them to get the number 50th leading scorer who'll stay out of trouble than to have the top 10 who are constantly revolving door of mess.
Yeah.
I'll let you have the last word.
Once again, Jason, you're proving why we should be calling you the authority. And this is something that every other person who spoke on didn't go into the depths in which you took it. And I just want to once again show my appreciation for everything you're doing for us. Until next time, be $1.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight, brother. Please do give us a call again here. I'm going to do here. Let me go ahead and get caller on. Let me get on Blog Talk here and Jet on the Zoom. Stay put with us here for a moment. I'll get right back to you. Let me get caller from area code 910. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, name is David. Calling from Wilmington, North Carolina.
Okay, David from Wilmington. What's on your
what I
mind?
wanted to say, what I wanted to ask you was excuse me, just a little short of breath.
All right, brother, because it sounds like you're over there rubbing sounds like you're rubbing yourself up and down and getting real worked up. So I don't know if this is that kind of program for you. So it's...
Yeah. What I wanted to say was there's a soccer star, and the woman tried to come after him, and his mom owned everything. So she couldn't get anything because his mom owns everything. Lamar Jackson is the same way. His mom owns all of his money and endorsements, I guess. Do you think that could protect a guy like Zion Williams from making all the mistakes that he's making?
It depends. If you have children with them, you don't want to try that with kids. It's one thing to try that with marriage. It's because the soccer player you're talking about, there was pretty much a clean break he had. But if you got children with these women, that's going to be difficult. The other thing is you're taking a huge security risk. Would you want, if you were Zion Williamson, would you want to put your entire fortune in the hands of your mom and give her complete and total control of it and just trust that she ain't going to do that like she's done the rest of her life? I wouldn't. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. You know, the brother sounded like he was over there with the baby oil. Jason, your voice is just that voice, Jason. I'm sorry, I'm out of breath, but I can't really control myself. I see what the ladies like you, Jason, is that voice. It's I'm trying to keep it together. I don't know how you do it, Jason. I don't know how you do it. So I'm just saying here, Yeah, I mean, some of those things could work. I don't know. If you got kids, you're going to have a hard time getting that to work. You're going to have a hard time pulling it off. I'm thinking. You're going to have a hard time pulling it off. Bunch of the fellas out here are going to find out the hard way here. Fellas, I want all of y'all to alpha up. I want all of you to alpha up. All of you. I want all of you to be straight. I want all of you to have your money straight. I want all of you to be living your best life, but you can't be living your best life if you're easy damn prey. There's a bunch of you fellas out here that you just haven't. It's amazing you're in the damn NBA and you've had such little experience with women. And by experience, I don't mean sex. When have you sat down at a table with a woman and you've been in charge and didn't have to spend $1? When have you sat down at a table with a woman and she's been genuinely interested and magnetized to you? When has that occurred? If the only time you can get women magnetized to you is when they see, oh, he plays for the NBA, that's all they know. When's the last time that you were able to get them to take a genuine interest, a genuine magnetic interest in you simply because you were there? Because your personality did that, because they could see how you could talk and everything came together. These guys don't have that. We are in an era of the bastard babies. And I'm talking about, man, it used to be, we can't even say they're teenagers anymore. They're in their 30s and 40s now. Hell, some of them older. And the chicks can see you are an easy mark. Fellas, these chicks can see you are an easy mark. If you're coming in here and you don't have a lot of experience, you've never been able to just sit down and be able to hold a woman's attention simply on the strength of your character and your personality. And then she's like, obviously his money is together because you can see how you do one thing is how you do all things. Obviously that's straight. These guys can't do that. And fellas, I'm telling you, the women today ain't no rules. Ain't no rules. There are no rules anymore, fellas. Ain't no rules out here. These chicks is like, man, look here. If I can get him, I'm going to get him. If he's got it and I can get him, I'm going to get him. I'm going to deceive him. I'm going to trick him. I'm going to fool him. I'm going to make him think I'm in love. I'm going to tell him I don't want anything but to spend time with him. I'm going to tell him how wonderful he is, even though he's a lame ass and he smells like Oscar Mayer wieners. I'm not going to say nothing. They're going to play the long game. She's going to visit your family and your friends. She's going to be pressing you to get married. Where is it? She's going to be pressing you about, what are you thinking when you say more? Heifer, you's a damn porn chick. You do porn. Not even with black men. You do porn. Talking about, same here, baby. We've been linking since 2021. I feel like we're more than that. Now, more than what? And she's only angry now because the bag ain't coming anymore like she thought it was going to be. Now she's self-destructing. I'll be damned. She wants to take you down with her. She wants to take you down with her now that she ain't going to get what she wants. You didn't see that coming in the damn door? Fellas, you can't afford to be this damn slow on the draw. You got to see that this is the game today. Okay, let me give you fellas a real simple metric. Let me give y'all a very simple metric. Fellas, if you make 3 or 4 times what the chick you talking to makes, she's probably sizing up that you could be her retirement plan. You could be her 401k. If she's taking a look at her life and she sees that you make 3 or 4 times what she makes, she's like, oh, I might be good. And if you think about it, it makes damn sense. If she makes $50,000 a year and you make $150,000 or $200,000 a year, yeah, she's probably thinking, you know what, I can ride out. If she makes $80,000 a year and you make $250,000, $300,000 a year, she's thinking, yeah, I can ride out. If she's making $100,000 a year and you making 300, 400, $500,000 or more, don't you know she's saying to herself, oh, my ship just came in. I don't have to do nothing at this job no more. My ship just came in. My ship just sailed right on in. Fellas, these are the rules now. These are the rules. We got a whole different generation and crop of females out here today. Once they get in their late 20s, they looking for a nigga that's gonna secure them. And having a baby means nothing. Nothing at all. Telling you they love you, daddy. Love you, daddy. That means nothing. Nothing. They coming to you in the dough talking about, hey, I need to get bills paid. And I need folks to do this, that, and the other. I need to get caked off. I need you to go ahead and start paying big bills. They think nothing of that today, fellas. This is the environment that we're in. This is it. This is it. This chick is sitting up here talking about she wants to retire from OnlyFans. Guess who the retirement program is supposed to be? Guess who the retirement program is supposed to be? Gabrielle is not on the line, by the way. So if she told you that she is not. Just thought I'd put that out there. Fellas, these chicks have no problem telling you that they love you. They have no problem telling you that you're the only one. They have no problem telling you that they want to get married. They have no problem having kids in or out of wedlock because they know that that's a handcuff. Today, they got no problem. There are no lengths. We live in a society that has told young women that by the time they get in their late 20s, they're supposed to be living a 1%er life. But when they get out here into the actual economic marketplace, you find out that that's not really possible. Not by your 20s or even by your 30s. So they got to go find an unsuspecting sucker. They're going to go look for some sugar daddy. They're going to look for some lonely guy. They're going to look for some incel. They're going to look for some athlete. They're going to go looking for weakness. And I'm talking about by chicks you wouldn't have imagined or thought of, because they're all out here competing because there's not enough fellas who can provide a 1%er lifestyle anymore. So everybody trying to get in where they fit in. Fellas, they got no problem texting you every day, giving you the kissy emojis, telling you how great you are, and daddy, you the man, and baby, I love you, and all. They have no problem. They will keep working on you until they wear your defenses down. Until they wear your defenses all the way down. This is the culture that, fellas, don't you know they got Facebook groups? Guys, to the men listening, do you realize these chicks, why do you think OnlyFans is so damn ubiquitous? Because all the females are studying it. Don't you realize these chicks got Facebook groups today? These chicks got Facebook groups where they conspire against men. You talk about hate sites and hate speech. You got Facebook groups where the women conspire. How can I get him to marry me? Hell, remember they got Facebook groups about how can I trick him into thinking I'm pregnant? Remember? How many of you fellas remember that one? You got Facebook groups and websites. How can I trick him into thinking I'm pregnant? And as men, we haven't criminalized that yet. But you got Facebook groups where they're talking about, hey, How do I get pregnant? How do I get him to marry me? How do I get him to leave his wife? Facebook groups. I mean, the groups are still there. These ain't even old. Facebook, Reddit. These chicks got whole groups. You need to check your chick. These females have whole groups out here online where they get gamed up and mentored in being able to just outright commit fraud on men. Much less getting the bag. You don't want to talk about how do you get a man to drop $1,000? How do you get a man to take you to Dubai? How do you get that? Man, this ain't nothing but a game to him now. That's what's happening on these college campuses. This is what's happening on the college campuses. Remember, your Instagram pictures of the girls going to Dubai, those ain't a bunch of 30 and 40-year-old chicks. Those are chicks 18, 19, 20 years old. They asking early, hey, how can I get to Dubai? How can I get to Hong Kong? How can I get to London? How can I get to Miami on somebody else's dime? They want to know that early. So, fellas, it's a brand new world. It used to be that the only way a female could figure that out is if she had a chick who was in the game, who she knew. You couldn't ask your mom and your grandmama. They didn't know. Today, they've got instant access to chicks who are stomped down hoes and will lace them up with whatever type of devious satanic game they want. And then they turn around and meeting you, and you sitting up here talking about sugar and spice and every damn thing nice. You sitting here laying next to a single mom talking about making permanent commitments. Well, she's nicer than the others. They're all nicer than the others until they bare their fangs. Every female is nicer, quote, nicer than the others until she bares her claws. Then you find out what it really is. You're supposed to be smart enough to see that when you go in. Fellas, if your resources are straight, it's time for dudes to just start sitting on their resources. It's time for fellas to start holding on to their damn resources and stop being so damn desperate. Every time you turn around, y'all are in a state of perpetual drought. And you're leading with your resources like a trick. And the female can see you're not going to say no, but they see it in mass now. They got Facebook groups. How are you going to say yes? So they can see you coming from a mile away. They can see you coming from a mile away. This is how men with resources die poor. This is how men with resources die broke. This is how men with resources die working. Working until they die. This is how men with resources end up in that position. Because they mess around and make permanent decisions with a temporary broad. Let me say that again. They go broke, they die working, they give up everything they damn well have by making permanent decisions with a temporary broad. There is a reason why me and TK Kirkland and other men have given you all the concept of the company car. Because if she needs to get something with her name on it, she gonna earn it. There won't be any doubt. But furthermore, she doesn't need anything with her name on it. Now there's the ugly ass truth. She's trying to hit you up to take every damn thing you got, and you sitting there cheesing. She don't need nothing with her name on it. She ain't gonna pay for it. You just tell her, as long as we rocking together, I'm good, you good. As long as we rocking together, if I'm good, you're good. And if she doesn't accept that, she just showed you, oh, I'm really here to just see if I can run you before I run out the door. Fellas, you got to stop letting chicks set you up for them to break out the damn camp. You tell her, look here, I'm about to go buy this $200,000 thing. One key fob is for me. The other key fob is for you. Park it at your house, do it in the hell ever. I ain't coming to get it, nothing. As long as you and me are together, that's the end of that. And you know what, fellas? if she was married to you. Ladies, I gotta read your mail tonight. Ladies, I gotta read the mail tonight. Ladies, fellas, if you were married to her, would she be worried about whose name the registration is in or whatever then? Well, you saying, well, no, because she got the power of the state. Okay, well, if she's happy with that situation, why the hell is it she ain't happy with what the hell you saying? Stop being a damn trick. She doesn't want ownership. She wants possession. Stop letting them sit up here and raise the damn price sky high for them. You the one with the resources and lowering the price for you. She's getting $1 million of resources, $500,000 of resources, $300,000 of resources for $10,000 of feminine value. Because you're scared that if you don't give in and give her every damn thing she wants, that she's going to leave. Fellas, you're supposed to be, let me explain something to you. As a man, you are supposed to be an exclusive product. A man of value, a man of status, a man of resources. You're supposed to be an exclusive product. There are always supposed to be people you saying no to. Always. Let me explain something to y'all. Question in the chat room. This goes for the men and the women. Those of you listening live and recorded, you're going to learn something right here, right now, tonight. For all of you listening here live and recorded, who did Karl Lagerfeld work for before Karl Lagerfeld created his own fashion label? Y'all about to learn something here tonight. You're about to learn something tonight. Who did Karl Lagerfeld work for before Karl Lagerfeld broke off and created his own label, his own fashion label? Who did he work for? Some of them got it, some of them didn't. Some of them got it, some of them didn't. For those of you who didn't know there, you could have Googled it, but Chanel. Lagerfeld used to work for Chanel. All right, next question. Who did Tom Ford used to work for before he broke off and created his own label? Who did Tom Ford used to work for before Tom broke off and made his own label, made his own fashion company? Who did Tom Ford used to work for? Now, some of you might get that one a little bit easier since the Jay-Z era. Some of y'all got it wrong. It was Gucci. I'm saying this for a reason. Karl Lagerfeld, Chanel, Tom Ford, Gucci. Let me ask you a question. Did Gucci try to break the bank to keep Karl Lagerfeld? Did Gucci try to give up their company? Did Gucci tell Karl Lagerfeld, we ain't gonna say no? Did Gucci sit up here and break the damn bank to hold on to Karl Lagerfeld? I'm sorry, Chanel. Did Chanel, if I said Gucci, I meant Chanel. Did Chanel hurt themselves to hold on to Karl Lagerfeld? No. Did Gucci say that it's all over for us when Tom Ford wanted to leave? Did Gucci sit up here and say, no, we got to hold on to Tom Ford at all costs? Did Gucci say that? Hell no. And oh yeah, by the way, have either Chanel or Gucci suffered because Lagerfeld left Chanel or because Tom Ford left Gucci? Was Tom Lagerfeld the end of Chanel? Was Tom Ford the end of Gucci? You tell me. The house, and one more thing, you ain't gonna like this question, but I'm gonna say it. Is Tom Ford as big of a name as Gucci? Okay, Tom Ford broke out on his own. By the way, you can say all the nice things about Tom Ford you want to. I think that's great and that's wonderful. By the way, has Tom Ford ever become as big of a name as Gucci? You can say how great the Tom Ford era was at Gucci, but one more thing, has Tom ever become as big of a name? If he was where the power really was, by the way, did he become as big of a name as Gucci? He's had time. Okay, you like Tom Ford, but the market has spoken. You can say whatever you want to. The market has spoken. Tom Ford has a kiosk at Macy's. Tom Ford has a kiosk at Bloomingdale's. Gucci has the store. You can say whatever you want to. Knock yourself out. If you love his stuff, congratulations. Slow clap. Ain't no hate. But let's just keep it all the way real. Tom Ford has not approached Gucci's level. Karl Lagerfeld never approached Chanel's level. Never approached it. Can you see there's folks in here still trying to argue Tom Ford had a store? Okay. Ma'am, just sit down. See, this is why you don't let folks sit up here, and this is why you don't let the general public talk, because the general public says silly things. So just sit down. Just knock it off. Just quit. You're making a fool of yourself. In any case, you never seen it. You never seen it. So what I'm saying to you is that Chanel is an exclusive house. They are so exclusive that they're not afraid to let go of people like Karl Lagerfeld and Tom Ford. Fellas, you're supposed to be the same way. You're supposed to be an exclusive product. Even if you had somebody who was knocking home runs for you. Fellas, at the end of the day, you supposed to be Gucci. She's supposed to be Karl Lagerfeld. You're supposed to be Chanel. You're supposed to be Chanel. She's supposed to be Karl Lagerfeld. You're supposed to be Gucci. She's supposed to be Tom Ford. And that's the way it's supposed to be. But I'll be damned if the fellas aren't out here. And you being Tom Ford, not even Tom Ford, damn it, you being Family Dollar, and she's being Coco Chanel. Caller from area code 347, you're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Michelle, calling from Brooklyn.
Take your phone off a speaker.
Okay.
What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Gabrielle, calling from Brooklyn.
Gabrielle from Brooklyn, and what is on your mind?
I was asked to call in.
Then you already know why you were told to call in, so let's go ahead and get to it, ma'am.
I'm sorry?
You know why you were told to call in.
I'm sorry? What did you say?
You know why you were told to call in, so let's get to it.
Okay. I made a few comments during this evening, so I assumed it was the last one about the moms being responsible for how their sons socialize. Are we talking about the same thing?
Okay, is that what you said?
That's one of the things I said, yes.
No, that's not what you said, so you're a liar already. What you said is your mom and your dad are not your only influence.
That was the,
ma'am, be quiet.
That was the
ma'am,
you are not going to
You're not going to talk over the host, Lulu. Your words were, your
Okay.
mom and dad are not your only influence. Some black men don't listen,
Yes.
and most are influenced by their peers.
That's right.
You have to have kids to know this, Jason. No, I do not need to have children to know who your kids listen to. That's a damn lie. Now, maybe in the house you were raised in, that was the way it worked, and everybody was just allowed to freestyle. But no, ma'am, no amount of street behavior is going to overturn 18 years of good home training. If you actually had good, that is an empirical fact, ma'am. The only people who say otherwise are illegitimate bastard baby makers who are trying to redeem themselves from their behavior.
No. That's
the
true.
way it works.
That's not true.
Then if your children turn out well,
plenty of young people from good homes that end up in a world of trouble.
No, ma'am, not plenty.
A world
no,
of
ma'am,
trouble.
no, not plenty.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not plenty.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just no, ma'am. It is not plenty. It's some. You're a liar. There are not plenty. There are just a few.
What's your statistic?
Ma'am, the prison statistics, 70% of prison inmates are raised by single mothers. 60% of drug addicts come from single mother homes. Same statistic for teen pregnancy. Yikes.
But we only
ran into a little thing called math, did you? Your first time encountering it? I'm sure that this was a shocking incident for you.
Auntie, chill. But you're giving a whole it's not shocking. You're giving a whole program on men like Zion Williamson, and is he part of that 70%?
If he keeps it up at this point, there's a possibility. He's certainly not being a good steward of what he has right now, and your children are a reflection of the environment that they were raised in. That's simple math. That's simple psychology. There's no arguing with that.
But yes, but that's not every individual does not operate. You hope that
it is not every individual, ma'am. You're talking about exceptions. We're not counting exceptions. No, ma'am. You're trying to invoke an exception to the rule that we're not talking about exceptions. The rule is your children are a reflection of their environment. They can't be. Who else did they learn those things from?
As they get older and go into the world, they have other influences.
Okay, those other influences will not stick,
and then they come
ma'am.
home with a stripper.
Those other influences, if your son comes home with a stripper, it's because he had a slutty ass mom. Otherwise, a man doesn't have, biologically speaking, this will be news for you, I'm sure, because we won't get into body counts. So this will be news for you. A man has a natural revulsion to a female who's got a high body count and who makes herself sexually available to random men. We have a natural biological revulsion to them. If your son is hanging in the company of women who make themselves sexually available to random men and he's comfortable there, he learned that from the first female because a male has to get used to that. You don't walk into that for the first time in your life and take a taste to it. You got to get accustomed to that because your biology resists it.
Men go off to college. Men do things in college.
That is the result of how they were raised. It's the result of how they were raised. That's the result of how they were raised. When he got to college, you are now going to see what you were doing to raise him for the previous 18 years.
Right. That's
correct.
Right.
And if you were a slutty mom, if you were a responsible group of parents who taught your kids to value themselves, taught your kids not to be comfortable in the company of strippers, thugs, drug users, or other degenerates, your children are not going to get grown and all of a sudden be okay with thugs and degenerates. That's not the way that works.
Maybe not a high percentage of them, but they're
okay. That's the whole point. That is the point,
and that's why we have channels.
That's the point. The point isn't exception. You said if you're trying to call out an exception to the rule, if there's a 1 or 2%, the 1 or 2% do not represent society by definition. And for you to even want to do that, you're not defending the exceptions. You're trying to defend the bad behavior itself and to say, well, ain't nothing you can do about it.
No, I'm not
Every single
defending it.
mother
I'm
who
not
has,
defending
every
it. I think
single
they're a bunch of
mother who,
idiots, and I
ma'am,
think-
every
I think
single
also that
mother,
you're
I'm going to kill your audio, ma'am.
on one
Every
area.
single mother who has trashed her children talks just like you. By the way, how many children do you have?
One.
Yeah. Where's your husband?
I'm divorced.
How long you been divorced?
20 years.
She's made that number up. That number's a
I'm
fabrication.
giving you a rough number.
A rough
You
number.
want me to go get my divorce papers?
Is a false number, is what it is. You know how long you've been divorced.
It's not.
If you were married, you wouldn't have to sit there and let me think for a minute. What's the right number? How old is your child?
No, it's been a while. In her 30s.
And you've been divorced for 20 years. So you got divorced after your child was born. Your child is older than your marriage.
Yes.
So your child is older than your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Like I said, every single mom is always going to go to war to say, it doesn't matter how bad my kids turned out. It ain't my fault.
No, that's not my. No, that's not. I'm just. You have a very.
Now you're gonna say that now you're gonna say that me
other.
repeating your words is a problem. Now you're gonna say I'm skewing things by repeating your words.
No. You have a very black and white view of this particular issue, and I don't agree with.
Well, ma'am, mathematics is facts, ma'am. 2 + 2 either it equals 4 or it doesn't. There is no gray area.
Well, we're not talking. You weren't
Yes, we are.
talking
We're
about
talking about math.
The statistics
We're talking about
in
math.
that
No.
situation.
We're talking about
You were
human
talking
behavior, and
about
that's
a
math.
young man and his socialization.
No,
You didn't know where
and that's
his
math. Socialization is
came
math,
from.
ma'am. Socialization is math. Children reflect the environment that they are raised in. Socialization is math.
That's one way.
It is the biggest
area
component. It is the biggest component. It's
of
not just one,
socializing.
it is not just one area. It is the single biggest component. From the time that the child is born, if people around them are saying gaga goo goo, that slows down their ability to form complete sentences.
It's not the
ma'am,
only
be
component.
quiet.
That's
Be
what- that's
quiet.
my point. It's
Be
not the only
quiet,
component.
ma'am. You've already made a fool of yourself enough. If a child is raised in an environment where people are not speaking in whole sentences, that child is going to fail to be able to form whole sentences early. If a child is raised in an environment where people are speaking whole sentences, they will learn to talk and reason and communicate far sooner than one who doesn't. Furthermore, the types of conversations that they see the adults having at an early age, from the ages of 0 and 5. Those are the most critical years for a child, the types of conversations that people are having. When you have a child who grows up speaking about politics when they're 15 years old, that was because they grew up in a household where people were discussing politics and news at a very young age. If you have people sitting around talking about rappers and drinking, then you're going to have a 16-year-old who's sitting up here with fake nails and rappers and drinking. It's not accidental, except for single moms who screwed up their kids and are, even at their advanced ages,
That's not
calling me
true
up to
because
dodge
young-
accountability.
Yeah, but the young ballers, the young ballers and the rappers and entertainers, they have a socialization that doesn't necessarily have to do with their background. They can't even go to a rap show without it being in the strip club. That's their socialization.
Okay, then there are plenty of them who don't do that. So for the ones who do, where do they
There's
become?
plenty of them
Okay,
that
for the
do
ones who do,
when they hanging out
and
with
for
their
the
buddies.
ones who do, why are they so comfortable when there's so many others who aren't?
You have to ask them.
You don't have to ask a damn thing. You already know. But then again,
You don't think
you're a
think
single
during their
mom trying to dodge
socialization with
accountability
their
for her
peers,
behavior.
go
So
into
she
these
finds
places
this
on a
very
regular?
uncomfortable. You don't want to take responsibility for your mess up, so you're calling up talking silly, and because you haven't made
No,
peace
I'm
with the
not
fact that
talking
the
silly.
kids didn't turn out so well.
No, I think you're wrong. I think that you feel that the socialization and their peers have nothing to do with nothing, and that's not true.
No, I didn't say they have nothing to
That's
do with
not
nothing.
true.
I'm saying that your children are a reflection of their environment, first and foremost, their parents. Your children are going to reflect the parents first and foremost and majorly. If the parents are straight, that is the single biggest sign that the children will be. If your children are getting off into deviant behavior, somebody taught them to be comfortable with it. They don't just jump up at 18 years old and the bedroom is filled with strippers and they're okay with that. Anybody who's watched these documentaries about serial killers, mobsters, or anything else, they didn't just grow up one day chopping up the kittens and throwing them in the microwave and turning them into gumbo. You were sitting there watching them do that from the time that they were little kids. Okay, then you sound crazy trying to argue that there's some other explanation for why grown men behave the way that they do. They behave the way that they do because they were conditioned to be okay with that. And they were conditioned to see those women like that because of their mammy. Their mother is the template that makes them comfortable in a strip club. Some of those women will be foul-mouthed hood rats. Some of those women are going to be so-called educated professionals. But the quality of a female has nothing to do with the quality of a female's feminine attributes has nothing to do with whether or not she's got a degree. It has nothing to do with what she does for a living. It has nothing to do with how articulately she speaks. There are plenty of outright gutter trash whores in pornography who speak flawless English. Some of them with degrees, by the way. Some of them have degrees. And that doesn't change the fact that they are the worst examples of scum femininity you could ever meet. Plenty of chicks with PhDs defending multiple abortions. Shout out Melissa Harris Perry. Plenty of females out here with degrees and every damn thing else. And you would say, well, on the face of it, they'll raise the children just fine. Well, they'll probably raise articulate daughters who've been slutted out and stretched out over every bed, barroom table, and pool table in America. But those daughters aren't comfortable with that if their mamas aren't.
Their profession has nothing to do with how they express themselves or whatever. Likewise, you can say that being a single mother doesn't mean that she was out in the street.
It usually does. Actually, no. Actually, no. You don't become a single mom unless you are. So, yes, it does mean that. Yeah, it does. Yes, it does. Stop lying.
Say that again. You don't become a single mom.
You don't become a single mom without being a hoe, Gabrielle. And that includes you.
Oh, please. Oh, please. That is such bull crap.
You don't become a single mom. By definition, you can't become a single mom. There's only one way to become a single mom. What the hell are you talking about? There's only one way.
What the hell are you talking about?
Unprotected sex out of wedlock. That's how you become a single mom. There's only one way to get there. Not 3 or 4. One.
A single mom is a person who's single and raising a child.
A single mom is a female who got pregnant before she got married. That's why she's single. The single part is you ain't married.
You could be single a lot of ways and end up raising your child alone. You can't leave that out.
You can't be a single mom unless you got pregnant before you got married. You have control of your sex organ. Therefore, you can't get pregnant before you get married unless you choose to.
What are you talking about? You can be divorced. You can have your husband leave you. You can have your husband die. There's a lot of ways to become a single mom and end up raising your child alone. What are you talking about?
Those are not single moms. Those are divorcees or widows.
Yes, they are.
Now, the circumstances under which, ma'am, those are not single moms.
And you're raising a kid by yourself.
You're not going to sit, ma'am, you're not going to sit here and try to rewrite the dictionary. Those are divorcees and widows.
No.
Ma'am, we're not going to sit here with you lying on my phone. Those are divorcees and widows. Those are divorcees and those are widows.
If you're divorced,
you're not going to lump divorcees and widows in with you. Ma'am, you are not going to lump in divorcees and widows with you. You were a single mom. Those women are divorcees and widows. You ain't gonna sit up here and say, well, ex post facto, let me lump myself in with honorable women. No, you didn't make the cut.
Single mom is a single mom.
A single mom has a definition.
Children by yourself, you're a single mom.
If you're ma'am, if you're raising your children by yourself, you're a divorcee.
You used to be married or you used to have a husband. You're a single mom. You're a single mom.
Do you really think that's going to change your status as being a single mother? You think about trying to lie to lump yourself in with them that somehow you get to go along with them?
Not my status, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You're going to sit up here and lie to the world and tell them that you're going to rewrite the dictionary because you don't like where your life went.
Alone, you're a single mom.
So you're going to try to rewrite the dictionary because you don't like where your life went. So you're going to try to smuggle yourself in with the honorable women. So who cares about the dictionary?
It's a reality. It's a reality.
The reality is you're a single mom.
You trying to make the situation fit your definition. That's what you're doing.
Why don't you go to Google and type in what a single mom definition is?
Oh, what the hell is Google? Is the Bible
now? Ma'am, it's a word. It's a word. So yes, the dictionary is the word.
I'm talking about the actual day-to-day life of a woman raising her children by herself.
If I says that y'all is single moms with me, then y'all is single moms.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you used to have a ring on your finger, and it doesn't matter if your husband is now deceased. You're still a single mom.
You all want to know how these young women are so screwed up today?
You're playing that music for yourself.
If you all want to know why these young females today are so screwed up, this is their grandmama on the phone. This is grandma.
No, actually, you're screwed up. And you don't like black women. And every chance you get, that's all you talk about.
There you go. There it is.
Criticizing black women. You don't talk about the Beckys in the same situation.
I did a whole program about Tiger Woods.
With the nasty little Beckys in the same situation.
I did a whole program about Tiger Woods. I'm the guy who ended Pearly Things' YouTube career, and you talking about me and Becky's.
Oh, you don't drag the men that get with these crazy Beckys like you drag the men that are with the black
Ma'am,
women.
it ain't my fault.
You don't like black women, and you don't like your black mama.
It's not my fault that your sexual adventure days didn't turn out the way you thought they would. That's not my fault.
I don't have any problem
getting
with
triggered at me.
Life.
Ma'am, you got
none at all.
One bastard kid and one ex-husband.
At all. You have a problem with yours. That's why you on your soapbox all the time. You need to cover your
just because you're angry,
completely.
Just because you're angry doesn't
cover
change
your
the situation.
subject completely. Don't just keep harping on one kind of woman.
Gabrielle, you know what the real question is here? We got a better question.
One kind of woman.
Gabrielle, you sound very triggered. You sound very triggered, Gabrielle. You're very triggered. Gabrielle, what size do you wear, Gabrielle?
You sound very triggered.
What size do you wear?
All you do is talk about you gotta bug up your ass about Sierra. You gotta bug up your ass about Russell.
Gabrielle, what size do you wear?
You don't have nothing to say about those black men.
Okay, Gabrielle.
You want to drag Russell.
Gabrielle,
you got a problem.
What size do you wear, Gabrielle?
You have.
What size do you wear?
What size do I wear?
Yes, and tell the truth. Don't lie.
10.
You're a liar.
I'm telling the truth. I'm not fat and never been fat.
No.
And see, that's your excuse. You go up on the tangent on how somebody looks.
Not true. Not true.
That's supposed to.
No, ma'am. You're a good size. No, ma'am. You're a good size 16.
Why don't you address what I'm saying?
I am addressing what you're saying. I am addressing what you're saying.
Anyway? And how tall are you?
I'm willing to wager right now. I'm almost with. You know what? I almost think I'll put money on it. You know what? Why don't we help? Do you all think we should help Gabrielle pay some bills? Because I don't believe her. I don't believe it. By the way, Jasmine, I don't see you on the line yet, Jasmine. So Jasmine's about to take a permanent vacation. I don't
How
believe.
tall are you,
I don't
Jason?
believe you. I'm as tall as.
How tall are you?
Ma'am, I'm as tall as your husband was when he walked out on your ass. I'm as tall as him. That's how tall I am.
How tall is that?
I'm as tall as he was.
How tall is that?
I'm certain that he was at least.
How tall is that?
I'm certain he was 6 inches taller when he got out the door. I'm sure of it. I am absolutely certain that he was about 6 inches taller once he got out the door. I'm certain.
And how do you look? How tall are you? How tall are you?
I'm tall enough.
How good looking?
I am tall enough to be able to do the Samoan SWAT team on you if I needed to. I'm tall enough to be able to do that. I think that my back is good enough to do the rock.
I don't know what that is.
My back might be good enough to do the rock bottom. I don't know, because you sound like a good size 18. So I might have to.
No.
I might have to throw that arm over a little bit more. I might have to throw that arm over a little bit more. I'm preparing myself for some Lizzo action.
Why is that your response? Everybody that disagrees with you have to be fat.
Ma'am, I didn't say that.
What you saying?
I didn't say that, but you sound like you got 2 neck rolls. I'm just telling you what I hear on the phone.
No.
You don't sound dainty.
No.
You don't sound dainty.
You don't have anything to say, so you start talking stupid stuff.
You're the one talking about single moms or divorcees and widows and anything else you want so they can lump them in with you.
They are. A single mom is a single mom.
Y'all, these are the grandmamas. These are the grandmothers, because you're like, what, in your 60s by now?
You have a whole bunch of single moms out there talking about, still wearing their wedding ring on their finger from a husband that's been long dead because of men like you to prove that they weren't a single mom. What are you talking about?
Her life is just so dreary.
You better look around your community. I don't know what you're talking about.
Can you all imagine that man having to live with this for 20 years?
Yeah. And who used to live with you for 20 years? You're no spring chicken. Who's living with you?
Can you all imagine that man being trapped in that house with this for 20 years?
Why do you hate black women so much? What did your mother do to you?
Auntie, chill.
Can you all imagine that man sitting in this house with this?
No, can you imagine what Jason's mother did to him to make him have black women?
Boy, could you imagine that fella there? Can you imagine some of the things he saw and some of the things he heard? And like, you got a legal obligation. I'm hoping that she's talking about she was divorced. I'm hoping the fella ain't dead, because for some of the rest of us, it might have been just like, look, I can stay here. I can jump out this window. I'm conflicted. This is a dilemma. Stay here, jump out the window. Let me see. All right, fellas, we tried to warn you here. All right, Gabrielle, go take your meds. It's Friday night. Can you all imagine being stuck in a damn house with that harpy for 2 decades? That's a 20-year bid. That's a 20-year bid. And like, at least in prison, you come out swole, you know? At least you've been in prison for 20 years, you come out swole. You come out swole with tattoos. This nigga came out beat down. This dude came out completely beat down. He came out 96 pounds, beat down, whooped on, manhood in tatters. Man, he's just trying to survive. At this point, he's just trying to survive. He don't even know what he's going to do. He don't know what he's going to do. He's just a shell of the man he used to be. Shout out to my man Buckhead's Finest. Free game, sold, not told. Thank you very much for the super chat, and thank you to everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat, Venmo. Thank you very much for your support there. We appreciate that. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight after a call like that. If you want to know where fellas with beta brains come from, that's their grandmama. That's their mom. Just got off the phone. That's where fellas with beta brains come from. Right there. Right there. I ain't responsible. If he messed up, that's on him. It ain't because I messed up. It's just he was the one listening to the streets. What about the first 18 years when he was doing all the other stuff right there? Well, that was his fault too. Fellas, watch who you got these kids by. Watch who you get with. They sitting up here destroying your legacy. Watch who you have them with. It ain't no joke. It's warfare out here. It is trench warfare. It's kill or be killed now. You can't sit up here and just focus on your damn money. Being an alpha, having alpha money and beta brains is don't mix. Having alpha money and beta brains don't mix. It's a death wish. It's a death wish. It is what it is. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. If you are new here to The Business, welcome to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. This is the place that briefs everyone so that next week when they're going to be saying all the talking points that they're going to rip off from us tonight, you heard it here first. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time that we're here. If you haven't been to our Patreon, the link is in the description. We'll be doing this here tomorrow at 12 noon. I have a program I'm going to be doing here tomorrow at 12 noon. We're going to be talking about growing up. We're going to be talking about evolution. We're going to be talking about change. And fair warning, is going to be a bit of a hard-hitting thing here, but I got some stuff I want to say that I cannot say here on YouTube because folks will be flagging me and little old angry ladies will be sitting on the phone talking crazy. But definitely join us here on Patreon tomorrow, 12 noon Central Time. Be glad to have you with us here. A few things I need to touch on. I want to thank all of you for joining us here tonight. Thank you to everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat, Venmo. Thanks to all of you who joined us here tonight live or recorded. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business, or your business will handle you.